don't want a god-tier ability and choose the worst talent instead? Greetings, fellow multiversal adventurers. It's an honor to have you back in this saga that has us all hooked. Official channel statement: this story is 100% epic fiction. So please don't attempt real magic, the results aren't guaranteed and insurance won't cover it. The rights to this masterpiece belong entirely to its brilliant original author. We are just a barge sharing it with you. Do you want to keep being part of this amazing community? Join our ninja army of subscribers on YouTube and give this content a like. And for true fans, our Patreon has exclusive ninjutsu waiting for you. Chapter 76: Armament Haki acquired. Soon, only 3 people remained in the office: Zhao Zheng, Lao Chu, and the principal. Zhao Zheng, I've seen your file, the principal said, beginning. You've fused with Kryptonian blood. Yes, Zhao Zheng nodded. The principal clearly knew how Zhao Zheng obtained his Kryptonian bloodline card, and immediately smiled, saying, Kryptonian bloodline cards are extremely rare, and the talent rule in the Holy Land is that the rarer the talent, the stronger it is. Therefore, I believe that the Kryptonian bloodline card must have its extraordinary aspects. It shouldn't be just a useless talent as the world perceives it. Don't be discouraged. Perhaps you are the one who will uncover the secrets of the Kryptonian bloodline. Zhao Zheng, he hadn't expected the principal to start by comforting him. And Zhao Zheng didn't know what to say in response to such comfort. Because you already knew and mastered the secrets of the Kryptonian bloodline. Seeing Zhao Zheng remain silent, the principal smiled and said, just now I asked Song Haitang what the secret was to getting an SSS level mission rating in the spirit realm, and she said it was all because of you, because of me. Zhao Zheng was stunned. He almost thought Song Haitang had betrayed him. But then he thought it was impossible. He trusted Song Haitang. She certainly wouldn't do something so foolish. Yes, the principal said with a smile. Song Haitang said that your brain is exceptionally sharp, with keen insight. When faced with danger, you can always calmly respond and quickly make advantageous judgments. It was precisely because of your correct advice that you were able to create miracles in the spirit realm. Good, good. So Song Haitang was praising him like this behind his back? The girl has become naughty too. She can even deceive people now. But he likes it. Did Haitang really say that? Zhao Zheng immediately said modestly, actually, my brain isn't that sharp. With his strength, he could just brute force his way through the spirit realm. Why would he need a brain? No need to be modest. I believe Song Haitang's judgment, the principal said with a smile, then his expression turned serious again. Zhao Zheng, are you aware of the bounty on the dark web? Zhao Zheng nodded. Yes, the principal's face was grave. Some people can't stand to see us succeed. They're afraid that an unprecedentedly strong individual will emerge in our Xia kingdom, affecting them. So they're trying to stifle a genius with these underhanded methods. He paused, then his gaze suddenly turned to Zhao Zheng, his expression becoming extremely solemn. Zhao Zheng, I have an important task for you. Zhao Zheng was taken aback, then immediately said, please speak. He didn't offer any guarantees, as he didn't know what task the principal wanted to entrust him with. It concerns the safety of Song Haitang, the principal said. Within the school will definitely provide the greatest protection, giving those people no opportunity. However, I'm worried that they might allow their freshmen to cause trouble in the spirit realm. Since Song Haitang trusts your judgment so much, her safety in the spirit realm can only be entrusted to you. I hope you can guide her away from danger in the spirit realm. Actually, several high-ranking officials had contacted the president of Xianwu University, requesting that he do his utmost to protect Song Haitang's safety without affecting her performance in the spirit realm. Song Haitang's appearance had given many powerful figures hope. If Song Haitang continued to maintain her current level, she might one day break through humanity's shackles, become a god among men, and save the world. The possibility was small, but even the smallest chance was worth trying. Of course, the president kept this to himself. There was no need to tell Zhao Zheng. It was a highly confidential matter, and he couldn't reveal it. Please rest assured, President, Zhao Zheng immediately assured him, in the spirit realm, I will definitely do my utmost to protect Song Haitang's safety. He didn't even need the president to give him a task. He would protect Song Haitang in the spirit realm. After all, she was his chosen one. Good, the president was satisfied with Zhao Zheng's attitude, then took a box from his drawer and handed it to Zhao Zheng. This is my personal donation to you. Hearing this, Zhao Zheng looked curious. Principal, what is this? The principal chuckled and said a name, Armament Haki. Upon hearing this name, Zhao Zheng immediately looked surprised. Even old Chu, who had been sitting on the sofa, was shocked and involuntarily stood up. This was armament haki. Among the extraordinary items produced in the spirit realm, it was one of the second most expensive. It was even more precious than many extraordinary opportunities produced in the Holy Land. More than 40 years ago, at an extraordinary auction, a piece of armament haki appeared and sold for a sky-high price of 500 million. But that was 40 years ago. Now, even 5 billion would be hard to buy. Because armament haki is such an extraordinary item, it is not common. If someone gets it, they will definitely use it themselves and will not sell it. In addition, armament haki is the nemesis of all devil fruit users. For those Logia-type devil fruit users, once they grow to the point of being able to elementalize, they are invincible and immune to all conventional physical attacks. Only armament haki can deal with such a powerful opponent. This shows how precious armament haki is. In the spirit realm, the only extraordinary items more precious than armament haki are probably Conqueror's haki and some other special abilities. Principle, this is too valuable. Seeing armament haki, even Zhao Zheng was incredibly tempted. His fist wind impact needed to be upgraded to fist bone impact after learning armament haki. Armament haki was exactly the ability he needed right now. That's why he said it was valuable, but didn't completely refuse. The principal was a shrewd old fox and naturally could see that Zhao Zheng wanted it. That's normal. Who wouldn't want something so good? The fact that Zhao Zheng didn't take it without ceremony and could still refuse showed that he was a child with a good heart. I already have this, it's not particularly valuable to me. The principal waved his hand, then smiled kindly. I'm giving it to you in the hope that you can use it to make good use of your acquired spiritual energy points to protect Song Haitang's safety in the spirit realm. Hearing this, Zhao Zheng no longer feigned refusal. He solemnly accepted the box and said, as long as I'm alive, no one can threaten Song Haitang in the spirit realm. He spoke with great confidence. And he truly had that confidence. Those powerful individuals couldn't return to the lower level spirit realm. And among the extraordinary individuals of his generation, Zhao Zheng's strength was overwhelming. Then, in front of the principal, Zhao Zheng opened the box. Inside was another parchment scroll, which looked very ancient. He picked up the parchment scroll, and information immediately popped up in his left eye. Extraordinary item detected. Skill, armament haki, one of the 3 types of haki. When used, it hardens the skin, temporarily strengthening the body and increasing defense and attack power. It is effective against devil fruit users and intangible, spiritual enemies. Each level of armament haki provides different boosts. Note, using armament haki consumes stamina. Tip, do not use armament haki to cover unusual body parts. Just wanted to let everyone know that this book will be available for purchase around noon next Tuesday, September 10th. There will be a surprise then. This book has a huge backlog of chapters, starting with 10 chapters on release day, and after release, there will definitely be plenty of content. I also hope that those who enjoy reading books for a while will support the author with a first-day subscription. Chapter 77 Upgrade and Transformation. Fist and Bone Impact. Race, Human. Constitution. 620, Spirit. 194, Strength. 620, Agility. 620. Talent, Kryptonian Bloodline, Iron Body, activated. Skills, Fist Bone Impact, Armament Haki, Beginner. Psionic Points. 700. After leaving the principal's office, Zhao Zheng immediately opened his attribute panel. Seeing the skills section, he was somewhat delighted. Not only had he gained a beginner-level armament haki, but his previous fist wind impact had also become fist bone impact. In the original anime, the marine hero Garp used this move to shatter half a town with a single punch, its power comparable to a small nuclear explosion. This clearly demonstrates the immense power and destructive range of this move. And Garp's strength has an upper limit. Zhao Zheng is Superman. Could he, in the future, shatter an entire planet with a single fist bone impact? Thinking of this, Zhao Zheng felt a surge of anticipation. Then, he noticed a small exclamation mark after both fist bone impact and armament haki. With a thought, the exclamation mark transformed into a detailed explanation, unfolding before Zhao Zheng. Fist bone impact. After activation, it unleashes a devastating impact with an extremely large destructive range. Note, this skill is affected by the user's strength attribute and armament haki level. The armament haki level, in particular, has a significant impact on this skill. A fully leveled armament haki user, once unleashed, can change the very fabric of the world. Seeing this explanation, Zhao Zheng was very satisfied. He then opened the explanation for armament haki. Armament haki, current level, beginner, current boost, after activation, defense increases by 25%, and destructive power increases by 15%. Note, this skill can be upgraded using spirit points. The boost doubles with each level increase. Zhao Zheng's eyes lit up. The boost from armament haki was quite good. As far as he knew, skills that could be upgraded generally had 5 levels: beginner, proficient, master, grandmaster, and supreme. Most upgradable skills in the spirit realm were divided into these 5 levels. If armament haki also had these 5 levels, wouldn't upgrading it to the highest level, supreme, increase his defense by 400% and his attack by 240%? Then, combined with his iron body, what kind of enemy could break through his defense? Excellent. These are all great skills. Zhao Zheng was very satisfied with his gains and felt a good impression of the principal he had only met once. Regardless of the principal's purpose in teaching him armament haki, Zhao Zheng was the one who benefited. For that alone, Zhao Zheng should be grateful. So, are you satisfied with armament haki? Old Chu's voice rang out beside Zhao Zheng. Zhao Zheng smiled and nodded, very satisfied. This skill is excellent. Of course it's excellent. In the transcendental world, armament haki is hailed as one of the most practical skills, and many people desire it. Old Chu, having said this, suddenly offered a suggestion. However, I personally recommend that you only raise your armament haki to the master level. Why? Zhao Zheng asked, puzzled. Old Chu explained, from what I understand, upgrading armament haki is very expensive. It takes 120 spirit energy points to go from beginner to proficient, and 300 to master. That doesn't sound like much, does it? However, it takes 800 spirit energy points to go from master to grandmaster. And a whopping 2,000 to reach the pinnacle, 2,800 spirit energy points. Many extraordinary individuals couldn't earn that many in their entire lives. Even for an ordinary person, 2,800 spirit energy points could turn them into a 3rd or 4th tier powerhouse. For us extraordinary individuals, the most important foundation is still the 4 basic attributes. Having powerful skills is useless without strong basic attributes. Compared to the boost from mixed out armament haki, basic attributes are more important. Therefore, spending 420 spirit energy points to upgrade 2 levels is enough. There's no need to pursue maxed out armament haki. Most of the top experts alive today possess armament haki, yet none have mastered it to the maximum level. Since even those top experts choose this path, following their lead is definitely the right thing to do. After listening to Old Chu's explanation, Zhao Zheng couldn't help but nod. Indeed. Mastering armament haki to the maximum level is incredibly expensive. It requires a total of 3,220 spirit energy points. Even for him, it would take at least 10 levels of the spirit realm to accumulate that many. However, those top experts haven't mastered armament haki because they don't have enough spirit energy points. Zhao Zheng is different. He only needs to bask in the sunlight daily. All 4 basic attributes can be rapidly improved. He uses the spirit energy points obtained from the spirit realm to upgrade his skills. As for whether spending 3,220 spirit energy points to master armament haki is worthwhile? For Zhao Zheng, it's definitely worthwhile. Based on his growth rate, in 3 years, his individual attributes will exceed 10,000. At that time, the boost from armament haki will definitely far exceed the effect of 3,220 psionic points. Teacher, you're right. Although Zhao Zheng had a different opinion, there was no need to contradict Lao Chu directly. From Lao Chu's perspective, his thinking wasn't wrong. I'm just making a suggestion, Lao Chu said with a smile. This suggestion is only useful for ordinary superhumans. You and Song Haitang are different. With her around, I honestly don't know how far you two can go in the future. The two walked and talked, and now they had arrived next to the training hall. Lao Chu was going to instruct the students. Seeing Zhao Zheng walking towards the school gates, he hesitated for a moment before speaking. Zhao Zheng, I think the principal's suggestion is correct. Why don't you move back in? It'll be safer. The issue of Zhao Zheng's accommodation had been discussed in the principal's office before. The principal revealed that the higher-ups wanted Zhao Zheng to continue living off campus, and then send experts to stake out his location. This was done to lure them out. Once they realized they couldn't assassinate Song Haitang, they might kidnap Zhao Zheng. Then, they could turn the tables and catch those with ulterior motives in one fell swoop. In short, Zhao Zheng was used as bait. In the eyes of those above, Song Haitang was the important one, Zhao Zheng was unimportant. Of course, the principal was a kind man, and he suggested that Zhao Zheng not be the bait and move back to the school. But after a moment's thought, Zhao Zheng volunteered to be the bait. Actually, Zhao Zheng felt his safety wasn't a big problem. His bounty showed that those outside were more interested in Song Haitang. The only 2 million bounty was probably from Miss Smith's father, taken out of revenge. Assassins act based on profit. The probability of them finding him was really low. Since those above were willing to send experts to stake out the area, he didn't mind cooperating and eliminating the threat to Song Haitang. Chapter 78 The power of a single punch is comparable to that of a missile. After leaving school, Zhao Zheng didn't return to his apartment. Instead, he took a taxi to a deserted area in the suburbs. He wanted to test the power of his fist bone impact. It was the same deserted forest as before. After observing his surroundings and confirming no one was around, Zhao Zheng walked deeper into the forest. A moment later, a huge tree came into view. Its trunk was already as thick as his waist, about 20 meters tall, the largest tree in the forest. Zhao Zheng stopped, standing nearly 100 meters away from the tree hoof. Inhale, he took a deep breath and clenched his fist. An anomaly appeared. Zhao Zheng's fist instantly turned jet black, looking as solid as metal. If a master were present, they would recognize this as a prominent feature of armament haki, and the level of haki was quite high. As Zhao Zheng raised his fist, it suddenly began to flash with a crimson light. The red light was incredibly eerie, as if it contained concentrated, powerful energy. The next moment, Zhao Zheng unleashed a punch. Fist bone impact. Boom, the void seemed to be torn apart. The atmosphere ahead was instantly sucked out, turning into vacuum. A gigantic fist phantom rapidly appeared in midair, carrying immense power as it charged forward. Nothing grew in its path. Boom, when the fist phantom collided with a distant tree, it created a devastating explosion. The thick tree trunk was instantly blasted into pieces, leaving a huge crater in its wake. The shockwave from the explosion continued to rage, sweeping across everything around it. The plants and trees within a radius of dozens of meters were all utterly destroyed. Even Zhao Zheng, standing at a distance, had his clothes and hair blown about. When everything calmed down, Zhao Zheng could clearly see that the spot where the tree had stood was now a crater over 10 meters in diameter. The surrounding area was a scene of utter devastation. It was as if Zhao Zheng's attack hadn't been a fist, but a missile. Good. Seeing the power of his punch, Zhao Zheng was extremely excited. He was quite satisfied with the destructive power of fist bone impact. As expected, fist wind impact was completely incomparable to the upgraded fist bone impact. The previous fist wind impact was much weaker than his direct fist attack, and its effect diminished with distance. Fist bone impact, however, felt more like true damage. And distance had a weaker effect. Even standing dozens of meters away, a single punch felt like a missile explosion, completely destroying the target. The power was unexpectedly astonishing. It's just quite taxing, Zhao Zheng muttered to himself, dispelling the armament haki on his fist. It's all thanks to my Superman physique, my stamina is incredible. Anyone else would probably be exhausted after just 2 or 3 punches. Then, Zhao Zheng left the area with satisfaction. The explosion had been quite loud, like a missile exploding, the sound deafening. It could probably be heard for several kilometers around. He needed to leave quickly. Getting into a taxi, Zhao Zheng made a thought. In his left eye, his attribute panel then appeared: race, human. Constitution, 620, spirit, 194, strength, 620, agility, 620, talent, Kryptonian bloodline, iron body, activated. Skills, fist bone impact, armament haki, mastery. Spiritual energy points, 280. Previously, the attribute panel showed exactly 700 spiritual energy points, now it was 280. He used the remaining 420 to upgrade his armament haki, directly upgrading it to the mastery level. Despite consuming 420 spiritual energy points, Zhao Zheng showed no sign of distress. He was extremely satisfied with the destructive power of fist bone impact. He believed his killing efficiency in the spirit realm would greatly improve next time. Ring ring, his phone suddenly rang. Zhao Zheng took it out and saw it was his mother calling. Presumably, His mother had seen the news, which was why she was calling. Answering the phone, Zhao Zheng smiled and said, "Mom, did you see the news about me again?" "Yes. Son, you did a great job." His mother's excited voice came from the other end of the line. "I told you, you don't need to worry about me." "Yes, yes, yes. My son is the best." Although the whole internet was saying that Zhao Zheng's achievements in the spirit realm were all thanks to Song Haitang's guidance, in his parents' eyes, their children were definitely outstanding. "By the way, your grandfather also saw the news about you," his mother said happily. "The old man is very happy. He just called your dad over and wants him to stay for lunch and drinks." Hearing this, Zhao Zheng breathed a heavy sigh of relief. He really didn't mean to make his grandfather go to the hospital last time. Meanwhile, at Zhenwu University, Chairman Song successfully passed through the strict security check at the gate and arrived at the school to see his daughter. "Dad? Why are you here, with such a big thing happening?" "Of course I had to come and see." Chairman Song's expression was very serious. Last night, he saw on the news that his daughter had achieved another excellent result, and he was very excited. 2 consecutive SSS-level mission evaluations, his daughter had set an unprecedented record. As a father, he was naturally proud and honored. After the news aired last night, countless friends called to congratulate him and try to get closer to him. Even a former leader who hadn't been very fond of him called personally to chat with him, his tone concerned. According to his former leader, after this year's review, he might be transferred to the provincial capital to serve as president. It seemed like a lateral transfer. However, the provincial capital and the local area were completely different concepts. A transfer from the local area to the provincial capital was a promotion. This was all the benefit his daughter's outstanding performance brought him as a father. Last night, President Song was so happy that he couldn't sleep a wink. Just as he was dozing off this morning, a colleague called with devastating news. His daughter had been anonymously wanted on the dark web. Moreover, the bounties were huge, and there were multiple bounties. President Song, with his keen political sense, understood that someone didn't want to see Song Haitang rise to prominence. Although he had somewhat anticipated this, he was still deeply worried upon hearing the news. So, he handed over his work early in the morning and quickly drove over. "Big news? Do you mean the bounties on the dark web?" Song Haitang appeared calm. "Dad, don't worry. The higher-ups have sent many powerful individuals to be stationed on campus to protect me. As long as I don't leave the school, no one can hurt me." Hearing this, Chairman Song's expression softened considerably. When he arrived, he had indeed noticed that Zhenwu University was much stricter with visitor checks. Walking into the school, he saw many security personnel patrolling. He could tell that these security personnel were all quite capable, elite personnel from the government. What surprised him even more was that there were many eyes watching him from the shadows, making him feel like he was being watched from behind. Now he realized that those eyes in the shadows must be the powerful individuals sent by the higher-ups to protect his daughter. It seemed the higher-ups valued his daughter highly. Thinking of this, Chairman Song felt much more at ease. However, besides being concerned for his daughter's safety, he also had another matter to resolve. "Haitang, what's going on between you and that Zhao family brat?" Just a reminder to all my godfathers, this book will be available for purchase next Tuesday, September 10th, at noon, with a massive 10-chapter release. I hope you all can support me with a first-day subscription. Now that the protagonist's strength has increased, it will get even more exciting from here on out. Chapter 79 Martial Arts Tournament. Zhao Zheng returned to his apartment. Just as he was about to open the door, his neighbor across the hall opened their door. Zhao Zheng instinctively turned around and saw a woman sizing him up. The woman was about 26 or 27 years old, very beautiful, with captivating, almost electrifying eyes. Most importantly, the woman had a stunning figure. A slim waist, long legs, and her breasts were practically bursting out of her clothes. Seeing this woman, Zhao Zheng was stunned. He didn't remember having such a neighbor across the hall. "You're Zhao Zheng," the woman spoke first. Her voice sounded languid, which, combined with her voluptuous figure, made her even more alluring. Faced with a woman's question, Zhao Zheng denied it without hesitation. "Sorry, you've mistaken me for someone else. I'm not Zhao Zheng." The sudden appearance of such a beautiful woman, who even called him by name, made Zhao Zheng instinctively wary. He wasn't someone driven by lust. Besides, seeing Song Haitang's ethereal beauty every day had made him somewhat immune to most beautiful women. Hearing Zhao Zheng's words, the woman across the hall smiled brightly. Little brother, you're quite cautious. Good, keep it up. Let me formally introduce myself. I'm from the Zodiac Bureau. I've been ordered by my superiors to protect you. Here's my identification, the woman said, flashing her identification. Zhao Zheng glanced at the contents of the identification: Zodiac Bureau, Snake Group, Kinmu Ayan. Below was a national emblem. That was all the information on the business card. It was very simple. Zhao Zheng had heard of the Zodiac Bureau. It was said to be a very mysterious department with great power, but he didn't know anything else. Seeing the national emblem on the identification, Zhao Zheng was somewhat convinced. He breathed a sigh of relief and immediately smiled. So you're an expert from the Zodiac Bureau. My apologies for not recognizing you sooner. May I ask what you need me to do, Sister Qin? Qin Muan smiled and handed Zhao Zheng a small black box with a button on it. You don't need to do anything normally. Just press this alarm button if you find someone breaking into your house, and I'll appear to save you in time. Okay, Zhao Zheng readily agreed, took the small black box, and said, Sister Qin, if there's nothing else, I'll go back inside. Okay. Go ahead. As soon as Qin Muan finished speaking, Zhao Zheng quickly went inside and closed the door. Seeing this, Qin Muan was stunned for a moment, then smiled and went back inside as well. Inside the house, Zhao Zheng put the small black box into the drawer of the cabinet by the door. He didn't know if this thing had any monitoring or listening functions, but in any case, he would definitely be careful at home from now on and not say anything he shouldn't say. Everything else was the same as before. Then, Zhao Zheng took off his shoes and went to the computer desk. The apartment he bought was a one-bedroom, one-living-room unit, about 40 square meters. It was a bit small, but it was definitely comfortable for one person. He turned on the computer and began searching for Zodiac Bureau. Information about the Zodiac Bureau online is scarce. After searching for a long time, he could only glean a general understanding. The Zodiac Bureau reports only to the central government, has a small staff, but wields immense power. They can handle any crime committed by a superhuman, making them a powerful and privileged organization. Furthermore, the Zodiac Bureau has strict recruitment requirements. Not only must individuals have impeccable credentials, but strength is also a crucial factor. Only the strongest can join. The Zodiac Bureau has 12 groups, corresponding to the 12 zodiac animals, each with different responsibilities. Zhao Zheng couldn't find specific details about their functions. This department, named after the zodiac, is dedicated to protecting the Xia Kingdom. It's rumored that the director of the Zodiac Bureau is one of the Xia Kingdom's top experts. The fact that the higher-ups sent a powerful member of the Zodiac Bureau to protect Zhao Zheng shows considerable sincerity. However, sending such a beautiful woman to protect me? Is it a deliberate attempt to lure me into making a mistake? Zhao Zheng thought to himself, maybe as soon as I show any signs of trouble, someone from Song Haitang's side will send a message to create a rift between us, ultimately leading to our separation. Although these were all just guesses, without any evidence, he felt that Qin Muan's presence here was for this purpose. Perhaps this wasn't the higher-up's idea, but someone in the middle acting on their own initiative, trying to lure him into making a mistake, using a honey trap to break him and Song Haitang up. He might as well not fall for it. But falling for it would be even better. Thinking this, Zhao Zheng revealed a disdainful smile. Did they really think he was a fool? The next morning, Zhao Zheng arrived at school on time, ready for class. This was Old Chu's strong insistence. Yesterday, Old Chu had sent several messages in the Class B group, requiring everyone to be present today. Because he wanted to help everyone rebuild their teams. It seems the third level of the spiritual realm is a multiplayer team mode. Ding-a-ling, the school bell had just rung when Old Chu entered the classroom. Good morning, students. Old Chu glanced around the classroom and said with a smile, today we'll be discussing the third level of the spiritual realm. Actually, there's not much to say about the third level, because it's an amnesiac spiritual realm. From what we currently know, the third level involves martial arts competitions, and it's a multiplayer team mode, with a maximum of 10 people per team. Hearing this, the students were all surprised. Immediately, several students raised their hands to ask questions. Teacher, since it's an amnesiac spirit realm, how do you know the content of the spirit realm is a martial arts competition? Yes. Last time, in the first level of the amnesiac spirit realm, we didn't remember anything that happened in the spirit realm. What we went in was what we came out in. Old Chu smiled at the students' questions and then explained, "The reason we know this is because a long time ago, a team in the third level of the spirit realm achieved an S-rank mission rating for the first time, and the spirit realm issued a notice. The notice contained the words martial arts competition." The students suddenly understood. Old Chu continued, "Regarding the third level of the spirit realm, many experts speculate that it's likely a martial arts competition between you freshmen." Hearing this, everyone's gaze subconsciously turned towards Zhao Zheng. Even Old Chu looked at Zhao Zheng. It wasn't that Zhao Zheng was particularly strong. In fact, although Zhao Zheng's image had changed in everyone's eyes thanks to Song Haitang, no one still considered him to be among the top-tier strongest freshmen. Everyone looked at him because he had a super powerful partner, Song Haitang. After 2 consecutive SSS-level mission evaluations, Song Haitang has accumulated a full 700 spiritual energy points. Adding to this the attribute increases from his regular training, his total attributes will definitely surpass 1,000 before the arrival of the third level of the spirit realm. That's over 1,000 attributes. Many ordinary extraordinary individuals might never achieve that in their entire lives. Song Haitang is now officially recognized as the #1 freshman. If the third level of the spirit realm is indeed a martial arts competition, then isn't Song Haitang's strength the predetermined champion? Chapter 80 begins. If the third level of the spirit realm is truly a martial arts competition, then who would team up with Song Haitang, the #1 freshman? Wouldn't they be able to win effortlessly? Thinking of this, everyone looked at Zhao Zheng with envy. This kid is going to be carried to victory again. Noticing everyone's gaze, Zhao Zheng remained calm. He knew what they were thinking, of course. On the podium, Old Chu hesitated for a moment before speaking. "Zhao Zheng, given your relationship with Song Haitang, could you discuss with her whether you could bring a few students from Class B to the spirit realm this time?" Hearing this, many students' eyes lit up immediately. Zhao Zheng was inwardly impressed. This Old Chu truly cared about his students, even saying something like this. He thought for a moment and replied, "Teacher, I can discuss it with Song Haitang, but I can't guarantee anything about the outcome right now." Old Chu understood perfectly and immediately said, "Just mention it to her. If she objects, that's fine. Don't let it affect you." The other students had no objections either. Because everyone agreed that Song Haitang was the one truly in charge between Zhao Zheng and Song Haitang. Zhao Zheng didn't say anything more. Old Chu continued lecturing. Compared to the dangers of the first 2 levels of the spiritual realm, the third level is much safer, because the number of new students returning from the third level each year exceeds 85%. Therefore, this is why experts believe that the third level is where new students compete. We are all human, and most people will likely hold back during the competition. However, you shouldn't be careless. More than 10% of those who return from the third level still don't make it back. I hope you won't become one of them. After class, Zhao Zheng left the classroom, intending to meet with Song Haitang to discuss this matter. Unexpectedly, just as he took out his phone, he saw a call from Song Haitang. "Hello, Haitang," Zhao Zheng answered immediately. The girl was very direct, asking, "Do you have time now? I have something I want to talk to you about." Zhao Zheng guessed it must be that teacher Shin who made the same request to Song Haitang, so he said, "Sure. Let's meet at the coffee shop on the 2nd floor of the library." "Okay. I'll be right there." Song Haitang readily agreed and hung up the phone. A moment later, the two met at the coffee shop on the 2nd floor of the library, found a booth by the window, and each ordered a drink. Zhenwu University truly lives up to its reputation as a prestigious university. The library is usually deserted, yet they've set up a coffee shop on the 2nd floor. What a waste. Of course, this had nothing to do with Zhao Zheng. He looked at the pretty girl in front of him and asked with a smile, "Haitang, is it your teacher, Ms. Shen, who wants you to bring a few more students with you this time in the spirit realm?" "Yes," Song Haitang said. "The third level of the spirit realm is the amnesia spirit realm, and the extra reward is only given to the team leader. I think bringing a few students in won't be a problem." Zhao Zheng nodded with a smile, then said, "Coincidentally, my teacher also asked me to discuss with you whether I can bring a few students from Class B." Upon hearing this, Song Haitang immediately conceded, "Okay, then I'll bring the students from Class B." Everyone else thought that she and Zhao Zheng were teaming up, with her taking the lead and carrying Zhao Zheng. In reality, only she knew that everything was the opposite. She was the one who was carried to victory, while Zhao Zheng was the main force. Therefore, she had to be compliant. Bringing all the students from Class B, Zhao Zheng asked with a smile, "Then how will you explain this to Ms. Shen when you get back?" Song Haitang calmly said, "I don't need to explain to her." Indeed, she didn't. The school rules of Zhenwu University clearly stated that teachers could not interfere with students' right to form teams. Not to mention, Song Haitang now holds a superior position among the students, and even teacher Shen doesn't dare to raise her voice at her. Anything involving Song Haitang has to be discussed. I bet your teacher Shen is still waiting for your good news. If you go back empty-handed, she'll definitely be disappointed, Zhao Zheng said with a smile. How about this? This time, the maximum number of people in a team in the spirit realm can be 10. I'll choose a 4-person team from Class B, and you choose a 4-person team from Class A including the 2 of us. That'll make 10. Haitang, what do you think of my suggestion? Song Haitang immediately nodded. Okay, I'll listen to you. The matter was settled. The two finished their coffee and went their separate ways. Zhao Zheng immediately called Old Shu. Teacher, I've already discussed it with Song Haitang. A team of 10, minus me and Song Haitang, still needs 8 people. She's willing to give up half of the spots to her Class B. Hearing this, Old Shu's tone immediately brightened on the other end of the phone. Good, Zhao Zheng, you did a great job. Please thank Song Haitang for me too. Then, Old Shu asked, Zhao Zheng, which team from our class do you think should get those 4 spots? This was definitely a question that would offend someone. Although Zhao Zheng wasn't afraid, there was no need to. So, without thinking, he passed the buck back. Teacher, as you know, I haven't been training with everyone, so I don't really know your situation. Therefore, you should consider this. My side is simple, just 4 people are enough, it doesn't matter who comes, you're good. I'll pick out 4 suitable teammates for you, Old Chu said, then suddenly added, by the way, speaking of training, you should join the training starting tomorrow. Isn't it necessary? It's necessary. The 3rd level of the spirit realm might involve martial arts competitions, and martial arts competitions are different from fighting monsters. I'll teach you some fighting techniques over the next month, and you'll need to learn them too. Zhao Zheng initially wanted to refuse, but after thinking about it carefully, he realized he was quite bored lying in his apartment every day, and his limbs were almost atrophying from lying around. It would be better to follow Old Chu and learn some fighting techniques. Anyway, not participating in the training and just learning fighting techniques wouldn't reveal his strength. So, he agreed. Alright then, you can come to the morning training or not, but you have to come in the afternoon, Old Chu said. I will guide you in combat techniques between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. every day. You can't be absent during this time. Okay, I understand. After hanging up the phone, Zhao Zheng left the school and returned to his apartment. When he arrived at the apartment door, he heard the sounds of combat from a game coming from the apartment across the hall. Although this is a world with superhuman abilities, the vast majority of humans are still just ordinary people. Therefore, the game industry has always existed. In fact, many games adapted from the abilities of superhumans are very popular. The game industry has not only not declined, but has become increasingly prosperous. At least it is much stronger than the film and television industry. What Zhao Zheng didn't expect was that the expert from the Zodiac Bureau actually liked to play games. This chapter is titled this way because the book has officially entered the super exciting stage. Especially the 3rd level of the spirit realm, all the freshmen in the world will witness the protagonist's strength. It's exhilarating from beginning to end. Please, all you adoptive fathers, don't raise your children. Just a reminder that this book will be available for purchase next Tuesday, September 10th, at noon. There will be 10 chapters released immediately upon release, so I hope all my readers will support me with a first-day subscription. Finally, thank you all for your generous donations. Thank you so much for your love and support. Chapter 81, Attributes Exceed 1000, Superpower Activated. Time, August 1st. Early morning. Zhao Zheng got up from the sunbathing machine, and the first thing he did was open his attribute panel. Race, human. Constitution, 920 spirit. 284 strength. 920 agility. 920 talent, Kryptonian bloodline, iron body, activated. Skills, fistbone impact, armament haki, mastery. Spiritual energy points, 280. These are Zhao Zheng's current attributes. Originally, all 3 attributes should have been 910, but July has 31 days, so by August 1st, it became 920. only 80 points away from breaking 1000 in all 3 attributes. He has only received the extraordinary opportunity from the Holy Land for 3 months, yet he already possesses such terrifying attributes. To be honest, even if Zhao Zheng told others now that his 3 attributes were about to break 1000, probably no one would believe him. Song Haitang, hailed as the #1 freshman, whose wife has added a lot of spiritual energy points, only has her spirit attribute just breaking 1000. It can only be said that Superman's physique is truly amazing. Zhao Zheng was very satisfied with his current attributes. Then, looking at his attributes, a thought suddenly occurred to him. When my physique attribute broke 500 before, I obtained iron body. If I increase all 3 attributes to 1000, will I activate a new ability? Zhao Zheng felt that there was a high probability that he would. If I activate a new ability, wouldn't I be even more invincible in the 3rd level of the spirit realm? And even more secure? Thinking of this, Zhao Zheng was tempted. In the 2nd level of the spirit realm, he had told Song Haitang that he would take the girl flying all the way through the spirit realm and maintain an SSS level mission rating for all of them. As a man, he had to keep his word. So, Zhao Zheng used his spiritual energy points to increase his attributes. The first one he increased was strength. When he spent 80 spiritual energy points to increase his strength attribute to 1000, a notification immediately popped up in his left eye. Strength attribute reached 1000, successfully activating the hidden talent of the Kryptonian bloodline, super strength, one of the innate abilities of the Kryptonian bloodline. After activation, it greatly increases strength and enhances physical attack. Note, super strength is affected by the strength attribute. Currently, it increases base strength by 3 times. As your strength attribute increases, the amplification effect of super strength will become greater and greater, instantly. Zhao Zheng felt his body filled with explosive power. He clenched his fist, feeling that he could punch right through this apartment building. If he used fist bone impact, he could even turn the apartment building into ruins. Good, Zhao Zheng cheered inwardly, his expression excited. He was right after all, breaking 1000 in attributes could indeed activate superhuman talent abilities. Then, he increased his agility attribute to exactly 1000. However, this time no notification appeared. It seems that 1000 points of attribute are not enough to activate the hidden talent ability in agility. Constitution. 920, Spirit. 284, Strength. 1000, Agility. 1000, Spirit points. 120. Looking at his current stats, Zhao Zheng's obsessive-compulsive tendencies kicked in. He could tolerate the spirit stat, he was already used to it. But the constitution stat was a bit much? After a moment's thought, Zhao Zheng decided to use another 80 spirit points to add to his constitution stat. He also wanted to see if breaking 1000 constitution would activate any new talent abilities. The result was no. Race, human. Constitution. 1000, Spirit. 284, Strength. 1000, Agility. 1000. Talent, Kryptonian bloodline, iron body, super strength. Skills, fistbone impact, armament haki, mastery. Spirit points. 40. This looked much better. Although he had spent 240 spirit points in one go, Zhao Zheng wasn't bothered. It was all added to his stats, and he'd even gained super strength early. It wasn't a loss at all. In addition, Zhao Zheng noticed some subtle changes in the talent section of the panel. The activated text after steel body was gone, replaced by a number. The 3 in the circle likely refers to the current amplification multiplier. Currently, both steel body's defensive amplification and super strength physical attack amplification are tripled. He glanced at the time, it was already past 8. Zhao Zheng washed up and prepared to go to school. Today was the opening day of the spirit realm, so there were no classes, but he had something to do early. When Zhao Zheng opened the door, he bumped into the expert from the Zodiac Bureau, Qin Muayan. She opened her door almost simultaneously, seemingly also preparing to leave. Sister Qin, good morning, Zhao Zheng greeted her proactively. For the past month, she had lived across the street, fulfilling her duties responsibly. Moreover, she hadn't bothered Zhao Zheng, let alone tried any seduction tactics. This slightly changed Zhao Zheng's impression of her. Little brother Zhao, good morning. Are you going to school? Qin Muayan asked with a smile. Zhao Zheng nodded, truthfully replying, yes. Today is the opening day of the spirit realm, and I'm going to meet up with my teammates. What a coincidence. Me too, Qin Muan said with a smile. I'm taking a transport plane to Beijing now. If the trip goes smoothly, I probably won't be back until after 2 p.m. Little brother Zhao, you can stay at school a little longer and go back to your apartment tonight. She was worried that if Zhao Zheng returned too early, and she wasn't there, the enemy might take advantage of the situation. Zhao Zheng, however, wasn't worried. He felt he was incredibly strong now. Hearing that Qin Muan was also going to participate in the spirit realm adventure, Zhao Zheng was very curious. Sister Qin, if I may ask, which level of the spirit realm are you going to participate in this time? Hearing this question, Qin Muan glanced at Zhao Zheng before saying, the 26th level. Instantly, Zhao Zheng's eyes flashed. The 26th level? Even if Qin Muan only gets 100 spirit energy points per level, after 26 levels, that's more than 2,000 spirit energy points. As expected of a master from the Zodiac Bureau, truly impressive. Then, Zhao Zheng stared at Qin Muan, his eyes gleaming with eager anticipation. He really wanted to spar with her and test her strength, don't misunderstand. It was just a simple martial arts contest. Mainly, Zhao Zheng wanted to see what level his current strength had reached. Qin Muan instantly noticed Zhao Zheng's gaze. The girl immediately furrowed her brows and said to Zhao Zheng, little brother Zhao, do you want to attack me? No. Absolutely not. Zhao Zheng quickly averted his gaze and explained. I was just a little surprised to hear Sister Qin say she was going to the 26th level of the spirit realm, and I couldn't control my emotions for a moment. He was somewhat surprised, though. This woman's perception was incredibly sharp. He had only given her a glance, and she had already noticed. It seemed that she was likely also a mentalist. He wondered what her innate abilities were. Really? Qin Muan gave Zhao Zheng a meaningful look, then glanced at her watch and said, my teammates are waiting for me, so I won't chat anymore. You should head to school early too. Okay, Zhao Zheng agreed, then added a compliment. I wish Sister Qin a successful and fruitful trip to the spirit realm. Everyone loves to hear such kind words. Especially since Qin Muan was going to the 26th level of the spirit realm, which was extremely dangerous. Hearing such auspicious words would naturally make her happy. Little brother Zhao, I also wish you a smooth journey and that you'll break records again, Qin Muan said with a smile. Afterwards, the two took the elevator downstairs together and parted ways at the apartment entrance. Qin Muan hailed a taxi, her destination unknown. Zhao Zheng, on the other hand, walked to the school. Zhenwu University was just across the street from the apartment building. Walking along the road, Zhao Zheng had a faint smile on his face, looking sunny and confident. This attracted the attention of girls on the street, who frequently turned to look at him. It was clear that he was in a very good mood. The main thing was this feeling of power. It was simply amazing. At this moment, the massive buildings on both sides of the road looked like shoddy construction materials to Zhao Zheng. He was confident that given enough time, he could reduce the entire area to ruins. Dao Zhao truly lived up to his reputation as a god among men. Soon, Zhao Zheng arrived at the school and met his 9 teammates from this spiritual journey. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 82. A gum fruit user appears. Zhao Zheng had 9 teammates. Besides Song Haitang, the remaining 8 were split evenly between Class A and Class B. To be honest, the students from both classes actually fought over these 8 spots. They really fought. No exaggeration. Everyone believed that with Song Haitang, they could easily win the 3rd level of the spirit realm. And the result of that easy win was over 300 spirit energy points. Who could resist that? For freshmen, 300 spirit energy points would significantly boost their strength, allowing them to more easily handle the 4th level of the spirit realm. So everyone was vying for them. Even Class B wanted to join in. Eventually, Teacher Shen and Teacher Chu had no choice but to hold a competition between each class. The winning team would get a spot. The winning team from Class B was a combination of 2 boys and 2 girls. The strongest team from Class A was surprisingly Zhang Heben, Chen Kai, and others. After the official class change, Class A was brimming with talent, with the most gifted students. Even those like Zhang Hebin and Chen Kai, whose talents barely made it into the top 10, were still considered exceptional. Their success was entirely due to the solid foundation they laid in the first 2 levels of the spirit realm. The first time, they achieved an A-level mission evaluation with a very high ranking. The second time, they also achieved an A-level mission evaluation. That's how the spirit realm works. The better the foundation laid at the beginning, the stronger one becomes, and the easier it is to adventure in later levels. This ultimately creates a virtuous cycle. In fact, far more than just the freshmen from the 3 classes at Zhenwu University wanted to become Song Haitang's teammates in the 3rd level of the spirit realm. Even students from other schools had their eyes on Song Haitang. Many principals of extraordinary universities wanted to send 1 or 2 students to Song Haitang's team. The most outrageous was Wu University. To get their students into Song Haitang's team, they even enlisted the help of leaders from the Ministry of Education as intermediaries. The vice principal of Zhenwu University couldn't handle it and immediately reported the news to the principal. The Phoenix principal, who was supporting the front lines at the time, heard about it and made a phone call to the Ministry of Education, giving the leaders there a good scolding before the matter was suppressed. A top-tier expert, terrifying indeed. Anyway, the team was settled. However, this was the first time all 10 of them had gathered together like this. It was just past 9 in the morning. Zhao Zheng, as agreed, arrived at a lounge and saw that Song Haitang and the others had already arrived. "Brother Zhao is here. Please sit down." It was Zhang Hebin who spoke. This kid's sudden change from arrogance to obsequiousness was a bit unusual. It was probably because Song Haitang's 2 consecutive SSS-level mission evaluations had completely extinguished his competitive spirit, and since he needed a favor this time, his attitude was so polite. However, Zhao Zheng still preferred his unruly demeanor. "Brother Zhao, sit here, I've saved a seat for you." Zhang Hebin pointed to the seat next to Song Haitang. His politeness towards Zhao Zheng was actually out of respect for Song Haitang. Who told this kid to catch Song Haitang's eye? After Zhao Zheng sat down, Zhang Hebin said, "The teacher asked us to gather here beforehand so we could get to know each other. So, everyone, please introduce yourselves. It would be best if you also mentioned your talents. Of course, Brother Zhao and Sister Haitang don't need introductions. You're famous figures in the school. Everyone knows you." After a pause, Zhang Hebin continued, "I'll go first. My name is Zhang Hebin. My talent is werewolf blood. After transforming into werewolf form, I can increase my strength, speed, and defense, as well as my self-healing ability. However, this transformation state consumes a lot of energy, and I can't maintain it for long right now." After Zhang Hebin finished speaking, he sat down. Chen Kai, who was next to him, stood up on his own. "Hello everyone, my name is Chen Kai. My talent is the mutant colossus gene, which allows me to harden my body. After hardening, I can greatly increase my defense and also increase my strength to some extent, but it will reduce my speed." Then it was the next person's turn. "Hello everyone, I'm Yu Zhang. My talent is the paramecia-type blast fruit user. I can turn parts of the objects I touch into explosives to attack enemies. Currently, my attributes aren't very high. The maximum destructive power of the explosives I create is roughly equivalent to a hand grenade." "Hello everyone, I'm Zhou Zheng. My talent is the paramecia-type quick-fruit user. I can turn any part of my body into blades, and also harden my skin to increase my defense. Currently, my strength is relatively low. I can only turn my arms into blades." Zhang Hebin's 3 teammates finished introducing themselves. Next, it was the turn of the 4 from Class B. The first to speak was a woman. "Hello everyone, I'm Suzuki. My talent is the paramecia-type flower fruit, which allows me to bloom and grow hands on any tangible object within my field of vision, including my enemies. However, my strength is too weak. I can only cause minor trouble for them." "Hello everyone, my name is Li Jun. My talent is the mutant ghost gene, granting me the ability to teleport. I can teleport people, but I can't pass through walls, and each teleportation cannot exceed 10 meters. Also, each teleportation causes me intense nausea, requiring a short recovery period." "Hello everyone, I'm Shen Nana. My talent is the zoan-type snake fruit, in python form. After transforming, my strength greatly increases. Once I entangle you, without at least 300 points of strength, you won't be able to escape." "Hello everyone, my name is Wang Fei. My talent is the paramecia-type gum fruit, which allows me to transform any part of my body, including my internal organs, skin, and teeth, into rubber, making them stretch and contract freely. By the way, Teacher Chu said that my fruit ability is extremely rare, and might be hiding some great secret. There are only 3 recorded cases so far, and I'm the 4th. In terms of rarity, my fruit ability is comparable to Brother Zhao's Kryptonian bloodline. Only one more case. Hearing Wang Fei's words, everyone just smiled. What great secret. That's just a lie. Only Zhao Zheng looked at Wang Fei with surprise. Old Chu was right, the gum fruit did indeed hide a great secret. Once this kid could cultivate to the point of awakening his gum fruit ability and transforming into the human fruit, mythical zoan type, Nika form, that would be amazing. However, Zhao Zheng was only surprised, because his Superman physique was even more powerful. Moreover, how difficult is it to awaken a fruit? It's uncertain whether this kid named Wang Fei can even do it. After everyone finished their introductions, Zhang Hebin took out some booklets and distributed them to the group. As he handed them out, he said, "This is information the school collected about the strongest freshmen. Take a look, and try to memorize it, because we're very likely to encounter these strong individuals in the upcoming spirit realm." Everyone solemnly accepted the booklets and immediately began to read them. Zhao Zheng, out of curiosity, also opened one. He was surprised to find many impressive talents and abilities. For example, from Peking University, there was a Logia-type magma fruit user who had received an A rank and an S rank excellent mission evaluation in the first 2 spirit realms. From the Great Bear Country, there was a freshman with a Logia-type rumble fruit ability. This guy was even more outstanding, receiving an S rank mission evaluation in the first 2 spirit realms. From India, there was a powerful mutant gene user with the ability of storm's weather control. He could already create powerful hurricanes and fly a considerable distance. Over in the Federation, a powerful seed has also emerged. The candidate's talent is a green ring. This year's freshmen are truly full of hidden talents. Second update. I'm updating early to thank all my godfathers for their monthly tickets and rewards. Thank you so much for your love. I have no way to repay you, so how about I repay you with my body? Just a reminder, this book will be available for purchase next Tuesday, September 10th, at noon. There will be 10 chapters released immediately upon release, so I hope my godfathers will subscribe to support me. The next chapter will be really exciting. Chapter 83 Martial Arts Spirit Realm? The Arena Train. Actually, every year, a few freshmen emerge with exceptional talent. However, only a minority of these freshmen actually grow into capable individuals. The group spent 2 hours in the lounge. During this time, someone brought them coffee and desserts to replenish their energy. 2 hours later, it was exactly 11 a.m. Zhang Hebin glanced at his phone and said, "Teammates, it's about time. We should go to the playground to assemble." Hearing this, everyone put down their booklets and left the lounge empty-handed. Bringing items into the amnesiac spirit realm is strictly prohibited. The spirit realm has its own set of judgment standards. Once a rule prohibiting items is in place, superhumans cannot bring anything in except their clothes. Some superhumans had tried to tamper with their clothes, such as stuffing things inside or even making clothes out of metal to try and get inside. The result? They were found naked upon entering the spirit realm. Since then, no superhuman has dared to do that. The group arrived at the playground. The other freshmen were already there. Seeing Zhang Hebin and his group approach, many people's eyes revealed envy and jealousy. They weren't jealous of Zhao Zheng, because Zhao Zheng had teamed up with Song Haitang from the beginning. What they were jealous of were the newcomers like Zhang Hebin. Originally, they also had the opportunity to team up with Song Haitang and be carried by her. It was these people who stole their chance. Faced with those envious gazes, the others in the team were somewhat embarrassed, but Zhang Hebin was all proud and smug. Especially his disdainful eyes, as if telling everyone, "You're all trash." His appearance made many people even angrier. Look at his smug look. I really want to beat him into a pig's head. Indeed, this kid really deserves a beating. What's so great about him? Maybe Song Haitang will fail this time too. These discussions had no effect on Zhang Hebin. Last minute, everyone get ready, a teacher shouted. Hearing this, everyone immediately fell silent, held hands with their teammates, and prepared to teleport. All the students were lined up in rows of 10 in Zhao Zheng's group. Song Haitang was first on the right, followed by him, then Zhang Hebin and the others. A minute passed quickly. The instant the countdown ended, all the freshmen on the playground vanished. A flash of white light. When Zhao Zheng regained his sight, he was in an unknown realm. It seemed to be a train station. An enormous train station. It stretched as far as the eye could see. Zhao Zheng and the others were standing on the platform. Countless freshmen surrounded them, too many to count. Everywhere they looked was people. Where is this? Wang Fei couldn't help but ask, isn't the third level of the spirit realm supposed to be a martial arts competition? This doesn't look like a place for martial arts competitions. No one could answer Wang Fei's question. After all, this was the amnesiac spirit realm, and no one knew what this place was. Everyone silently observed their surroundings. Song Haitang. Suddenly, a voice rang out from the side, attracting everyone's attention. Everyone looked over and saw a group of freshmen approaching them. The leader among them fixed his gaze on Song Haitang. I didn't expect to run into you so soon. This was a burly young man. His appearance wasn't outstanding. He had a square face and a resolute expression, looking like a tough guy. However, his sharp eyes gave off a dangerous feeling. Especially his aura, which seemed to carry intense heat. As the young man approached, Zhang Hebin and the others could feel the surrounding air heating up, as if they were standing next to a furnace. It seemed that what was approaching wasn't a person, but a moving volcano. He's Ma Jun from Peking University. A Logia-type magma fruit user, Zhang Hebin whispered a reminder, his tone tinged with surprise. As a fellow freshman, he hadn't expected Ma Jun's aura to be so astonishing. Actually, even without Zhang Hebin's reminder, everyone recognized Ma Jun. His information was in the pamphlet they had collected earlier. Song Haitang, speaking of which, we're from the same hometown. We're both from Luan City. This year, Luan City has really produced a lot of talented people, Ma Jun said, glancing at Zhao Zheng next to Song Haitang. His use of talented people seemed to have a hidden meaning, not a compliment. Hearing Ma Jun's words, Zhao Zheng finally remembered. He recalled overhearing his classmates discussing Ma Jun on the high school playground when he first transmigrated. Ma Jun was from number 2 high school, had obtained a Logia-type devil fruit in the Holy Land, and was immediately snapped up by Peking University for a special admission. He'd heard that the mayor of Luan City had even personally visited his home to offer his congratulations and give him a bonus. He wondered if Song Haitang had received a bonus. Do you have something to say? Song Haitang asked calmly, her attitude cold. Because the girl had already realized that this Ma Jun was up to no good. Nothing much, Ma Jun said with a smile. I just wanted to see the legendary number 1 freshman. He sized up Song Haitang and suddenly said, she's nothing special. Any other young man would probably have been furious upon hearing this. Song Haitang, however, remained calm. In her eyes, Ma Jun's behavior was incredibly childish. Coming up to provoke her for no reason, especially in the spirit realm, was utterly idiotic. Ma Jun, is it? When did you go blind? Song Haitang didn't speak, but Zhao Zheng spoke up. He put on a stern face and said seriously, such a beautiful woman, and you say she's nothing special? Is there no law? Is there no justice? His words caused the surrounding crowd to stifle their laughter. Even Song Haitang, hearing Zhao Zheng praise her beauty, smiled slightly. Only Ma Jun's face turned ashen. He stared coldly at Zhao Zheng, but dared not make a move. It wasn't that he was afraid of this pretty boy. No one knew the current situation in the spirit realm. If injuring someone is prohibited, and he violates the rule, he'll be punished, which would be terrible. A gigolo who lives off a woman, Ma Jun scoffed. You have no right to speak here. Then, he turned to Song Haitang. Song Haitang, your taste is really terrible. Hearing Ma Jun belittle Zhao Zheng, Song Haitang finally retorted, go get treatment if you're sick. The girl didn't seem very good at insults. Her attack power was a bit weak. Ma Jun was about to say something more. Suddenly, a loud announcement rang out, dear participants of the martial arts competition, the competition train is about to arrive. Please prepare yourselves. The train will only stop for 5 minutes. Those who do not board within the specified time will be disqualified from the competition. Hearing the announcement, everyone was stunned. A martial arts competition? A competition train? This spiritual realm is a bit strange. Ma Jun immediately dared not say anything more and prepared to lead his teammates back to their designated positions. However, before leaving, he still left a message, Song Haitang, I will show you with my actions how foolish your choice was. This martial arts championship will definitely belong to me. First update. The first major highlight of this book is here. Please vote with your monthly tickets. Chapter 84 Testing the Monster. 096. Watching Ma Jun and the others leave, everyone felt a bit confused. Was this guy seriously ill? I know what's going on, Zhang Hebin said, seemingly having thought of something. At the beginning of last month, I heard that Beijing University was planning a joint operation with Zhenwu University in the third level of the spirit realm. To put it simply, they'd send 5 people, and Zhenwu would send 5, forming the best team to try and get an SSS level mission rating. They specifically requested Song Haitang to participate in this operation, but our school refused. Hearing this, everyone suddenly understood why Ma Jun had gone to such lengths to provoke them. Even a blind person could see that Beijing University's so-called joint operation was just a ploy to take advantage, wanting Song Haitang to mentor their students. And they wanted half the spots right off the bat. It was too greedy. Otherwise, Zhenwu University wouldn't have refused so readily. It's likely that one of Beijing University's 5 spots was definitely held by Ma Jun. This kid just came to provoke them, probably because he was dissatisfied. His harsh words before leaving were enough to prove this point. After understanding this, everyone was speechless. It was the school that was being rejected. What did it have to do with Song Haitang? It can only be said that Ma Jun was too petty. Whoosh! Suddenly, a long whistle sounded. A train slowly arrived at the station along the tracks. Countless freshmen were attracted. When everyone saw this train, they were all a little shocked. It was a train that could be described as a behemoth. The locomotive was comparable to an airliner, and each of the carriages behind it was like a palace. In addition, the train was not only wide, but also of inestimable length, stretching as far as the eye could see. Such a huge train was definitely something that everyone had never seen before. This is the competition train, Wang Fei couldn't help but say. It's too big. The train quickly stopped at the platform. A loud announcement sounded again. Please enter the carriages in turn. Each carriage can accommodate a maximum of 10 people. The announcement ended. The carriage doors in front of everyone slowly opened. Zhang Hebin and the others all turned their gazes to Song Haitang, awaiting her instructions. Song Haitang, however, looked at Zhao Zheng. Let's go, get on the train, Zhao Zheng said casually, leading the way towards the train. Song Haitang immediately followed. The others were slightly surprised. They had assumed that Song Haitang would take the lead between them. Unexpectedly, Song Haitang's behavior clearly indicated a preference for Zhao Zheng's opinion. This reminded them of a rumor. It was said that Zhao Zheng possessed extraordinary wisdom, able to foresee opportunities in the spirit realm. Song Haitang's achievement of an SSS-level mission rating in the second level of the spirit realm was largely due to Zhao Zheng's strategic planning. Between the two, Song Haitang was the executor of force, while Zhao Zheng was the wise decision-maker. This rumor had originated from the school leadership. Now it seemed highly plausible. Thinking of this, the group looked at Zhao Zheng's retreating figure with greater seriousness. When the last person in the group boarded the train, the carriage doors immediately closed. Then, a voice rang out, "Welcome aboard the competition train. This carriage is number 96. Please remember your carriage number." All participants, everyone's gaze turned towards the direction of the voice. It came from a computer on the aisle wall. At that moment, some text popped up on the computer. Please select one participant as captain. Note, before this train arrives at its destination, the captain is responsible for the safety of the team members. If the captain is eliminated, the entire team is disqualified. Hint, the team with the best performance in this spirit realm will receive an additional reward, which will go to the captain. Seeing the text on the computer, everyone was stunned. Zhang Hebin immediately asked, "The captain is responsible for the safety of the team members? Why not protect?" Wang Fei asked, "Is there a difference?" "Of course there is," Zhang Hebin explained. The literal meaning of responsible is to bear or undertake, referring to actively or passively accepting and being responsible for a certain responsibility or task. It's completely different from protect. Wang Fei, upon hearing this, still seemed to understand only vaguely. This guy's brain is quite compatible with a gum fruit. Chen Kai said, "I think no one will object to Song Haitang taking the captain's position, right?" Everyone shook their heads, their gazes turning to Song Haitang. Before coming to the spirit realm, there was a consensus among them that Song Haitang would definitely be captain. Because the captaincy comes with extra rewards. None of them were qualified to compete for it. Now that this new rule has been introduced, Song Haitang should be captain even more. After all, on the surface, Song Haitang is the strongest among them. Giving her the captain's position is definitely the safest option. Song Haitang didn't care about the suggestions and gazes from the others. She looked at Zhao Zheng and said, "The captain is responsible for the safety of the team members. If the captain is eliminated, the entire team loses its qualification to participate. According to this requirement, the strongest person in the team is the most suitable to be the captain." So, before the girl could finish speaking, Zhao Zheng interrupted, "It only says that the captain is responsible for the safety of the team members, but it doesn't say that the team members can't help the captain. With me here, you don't need to worry about other aspects. Just focus on being a good captain. But what about the extra reward? I don't care about that little reward, Haitang. You know my plans. It's not advisable for me to be in the limelight for now. If I were the captain, it would be difficult to explain after leaving the spirit realm. The captain's position can only be given to you." "Okay," Song Haitang finally agreed and walked towards the computer. Following the prompts, she registered her fingerprint and accepted the position of captain. However, the conversation between the two just now left Zhang Hebin and the others completely bewildered. What's going on? From Song Haitang's words, Zhao Zheng is stronger? Everyone felt that they must have misunderstood. This kind of thing couldn't happen. After Song Haitang finished registering the captain's position, the train suddenly started and began to accelerate. Then, the announcement blared, "Greetings, fellow contestants. This train has departed and will arrive at the arena of the heavens in 30 minutes. We wish you all the best in your trials and a pleasant journey." The cold announcement instantly drew everyone's attention. Athletes Arena of the Heavens? What does that mean? Is that where the matches are held? But why use that name? Are we not going to be competing against other freshmen? It takes 30 minutes to reach the arena. Trials? What are they? The crowd began to murmur amongst themselves. Zhao Zheng and Song Haitang also frowned. Just then, with a click, the aisle wall in front of them suddenly split open in the middle, then quickly slid back to reveal the actual train carriages. The space instantly became much more spacious, resembling a palace hall. In the very center were 2 rows of sofa seats, 5 in each row. However, no one seemed inclined to sit down. Because, next to the sofa seats, a figure was huddled in a corner, sitting on the floor. Since the person's back was to everyone, no one could see their face. However, judging from its deathly pale skin and exposed sharp nails, it was clear that this thing was not a normal human. Not to mention, it kept making strange noises, seemingly deep in thought. Seeing this thing, Zhao Zheng immediately narrowed his eyes. "P.S. This book will be available tomorrow at noon, and there will definitely be a massive update at that time. I humbly request all my godfathers to support me with their first subscription. This is the last chapter for public viewing. This book will be available tomorrow at noon, and there will definitely be a massive update at that time. I humbly request all my godfathers to support me with their first subscription. I recommend a modern urban fantasy novel, titled, I'm Only a Senior in High School, What the Heck is the Son-in-Law's Counterattack System? It's a recently popular contrast-themed novel, and the author is an experienced author, so both quality and quantity are guaranteed. The link is below. Author's note on the launch of Chapter 85. It's finally going to be available. The release time is 12 p.m. today. I didn't originally intend to write an afterword, thinking I'd rather spend the time writing the main text. But seeing everyone else doing it, I thought I'd write one too. First, a word of thanks. Thank you to my editor, Blue Light. This book went through so many name changes that I felt embarrassed myself, but the editor was incredibly patient, tirelessly helping me revise it, and consistently recommending it. It's thanks to this book that it's where it is today, and that I've met so many lovely, and somewhat sassy, readers. Second, thank you to my wife. The first half of this year was filled with many hardships. I lost my income, and both of my new books flopped. I didn't earn any coins for 6 whole months, relying entirely on my wife to support the whole family. I feel so ashamed. But my wife never complained and always supported me to keep writing. Finally, thank you to all the readers who have been with me all this way. I really want to thank you all. Without your support, this book wouldn't be where it is today. The last sentence is a poetic expression of gratitude and gratitude. Starting today, the author has only one goal: massive update speed. A massive update speed is a must. After the book goes live at noon today, 5 chapters will be released immediately, followed by 1 chapter every 2 hours until 10 chapters are completed. The author isn't a fast writer, only able to write about 1,300 words per hour. However, To ensure a smooth reading experience for everyone, the author is willing to lock themselves away and write. After today's 10 chapters, let's talk about tomorrow's bonus chapters. Based on a guaranteed 10,000 word update, an extra chapter will be added for every 200 monthly votes, and another extra chapter for every 200 first-day subscriptions. As for the Alliance Master, well, I don't dare hope for one, just your subscription support is enough. Of course, if it happens, the author will definitely write like crazy. Begging for first-day subscription support. Finally, I'll dedicate a friend's new book to this, Doomsday Game, starting from a level 1 shelter by Zhao Zheng. David accidentally transmigrates into the post-apocalyptic survival game Doomsday is Coming, the most rudimentary shelter, the lowest command level, the most dangerous wilderness environment. Activate the Doomsday synthesis system and become the Cullis Doomsday Lord. Chapter 86. A monster who hates being judged by his appearance. Is that human? It looks a bit like one, but its skin color is unnaturally white. It might be a monster. Everyone be careful, Wang Fei and the others whispered among themselves. Zhang Hebin looked at Song Haitang and asked, Captain, what should we do? Song Haitang looked at Zhao Zheng instead, asked Zhao Zheng. Hearing this answer, Zhang Hebin was taken aback. However, the young man was quick to understand and immediately said to Zhao Zheng, Brother Zhao, please give your instructions. Zhao Zheng did not refuse and gave his advice directly. Don't go over there, just stay here. He looked at the pale back with a meaningful smile on his face and said softly, From now on, try not to make any noise or speak. It's only half an hour, just bear with it. Hearing this, although everyone did not think the suggestion was particularly brilliant, they did not object. Even for Song Haitang's sake, they would not say anything. So, next, everyone stood still. Faintly, they seemed to hear roars and sounds of fighting coming from the next carriage. 5 minutes passed, then 10. Around the 13th minute, the white figure in the corner suddenly stirred. It seemed to have come to its senses and slowly stood up. When it stood upright, its height was definitely over 2 meters. If it weren't so thin, it would certainly be described as tall and strong. Even more exaggerated was its exceptionally long arms. When its arms hung down, its fingers reached its calves. Upon seeing this, everyone immediately understood that this thing was not human. What normal person has such long arms? Moreover, its fingernails were sharp claws, long and pointed. A monster. Everyone immediately became wary. When they saw the monster slowly turn around, Zhao Zheng immediately warned, Close your eyes, don't look at it. Everyone was stunned by this. Only Song Haitang completely trusted Zhao Zheng and immediately closed her eyes. In that moment of hesitation, Zhang Hebin and the others saw the monster's face. It was completely hairless, its body emaciated, skin and bones, with not a trace of muscle, and its skin was deathly pale. Its limbs were also severely disproportionate. Most terrifying of all was the monster's face. It was a hideous, grotesque face, a gaping maw filled with shark-like teeth. Seeing Zhang Hebin and the others staring at it, the monster let out a fierce howl and pounced towards them. Zhao Zheng also closed his eyes. Hearing the monster's howl, he frowned and immediately pulled Song Haitang to a corner, instructing her, Haitang, keep your eyes closed and stay here without moving. Song Haitang nodded. Zhao Zheng then turned to the others and said calmly, Your reactions were too slow. You didn't follow my instructions in time. This monster is your responsibility. Actually, Zhao Zheng knew it wasn't their fault. It was their first time teaming up, and they weren't familiar with each other, so poor coordination was inevitable. Moreover, these people were all after Song Haitang and had no idea that Song Haitang was just a minor king, while he was the true king. It was normal that they didn't obey his orders immediately. Therefore, Zhao Zheng wasn't angry. The reason he handed this monster over to the others was because if this monster was truly the one he remembered, then its strength wasn't great. These people could easily handle it if they were careful. The only troublesome aspect was the monster's immortality. If this monster didn't match his memories, then letting these people test it out first wouldn't be a bad idea. However, at this moment, the monster was already close at hand, less than 10 meters away. Seeing the menacing monster, no one dared to be careless. The first to make a move was the flower fruit user, Suzuki. Since the opponent had a ranged ability, it was appropriate for her to make the first move. Suzuki crossed her arms and activated her ability. Instantly, a pair of woman's hands grew from the monster's shoulders, grabbed the monster's head, and twisted it forcefully. Unfortunately, Suzuki's strength was too weak, and she failed to break the monster's neck. However, this successfully caused the monster to lose its balance and fall to the ground. Then, Yu Zhang, the user of the blast fruit, also made his move. He picked a booger from his nose and flicked it at the monster, which instantly landed on it. Boom, a loud explosion. The power was indeed not great. The monster's defense was good, it appeared completely unharmed, but was thoroughly enraged. It roared and charged at the group. "Let me handle this," Wang Fei shouted, stepping forward. Then, he threw a punch at the charging monster. His fist, like a spring, instantly extended, directly hitting the monster. This punch was quite powerful. The monster was forced back several steps, finally falling to the ground. However, the monster's defense was good, and it was unharmed, getting back up. 3 attacks in a row had not caused any substantial damage to the monster. The group was not discouraged, because the previous attacks were actually probing attacks. Through these probing attacks, they had roughly figured out the monster's strength. This monster's only redeeming qualities are its decent defense and resilience, Zhang Heben shouted. "Brothers, it's time to get serious." As soon as he finished speaking, Zhang Heben transformed into a werewolf and charged towards the monster. The others joined in, cooperating with Zhang Heben to gang up on the monster. Only Zhao Zheng calmly watched the spectacle. Although Song Haitang's eyes were closed, her powerful spiritual perception allowed her to see everything happening. The monster, overwhelmed by the onslaught, quickly crumbled. Zhao Zheng, the user of the quick-slash-fruit, seized the opportunity, raised his arm blade, and slashed at the monster's neck. PFFT, this strike finally broke through the monster's defenses, severing most of its neck, leaving only a thin layer of skin connecting it. Thump. The monster collapsed, motionless. "It's dead already," Wang Fei curled his lip, disdainfully saying, "I haven't had enough yet." The others also felt that killing the monster was easy. Seeing this, Zhao Zheng laughed and said, "Don't be too happy yet. This monster should belong to the category of creatures with bizarre rules. It's unkillable." Everyone was surprised and immediately looked at the monster's corpse on the ground. Sure enough, the neck that Zhao Zheng had clearly severed had somehow reattached. Then, the monster rose from the ground again, howling as it charged at the group once more. 10 minutes later, the faces of those who had been besieging the monster turned grim. In those 10 minutes, they had killed the monster at least 100 times. Unfortunately, it was still useless. No matter what methods they used to kill the monster, it would soon regenerate and stand up again. P.S. First update. If you're unfamiliar with the monster in the story, you can search for 096 inches on Douyin. This monster is based on it. Chapter 87 Unkillable? Zhao Zheng can keep killing. In those 10 minutes, everyone had given their all to kill the monster as quickly as possible. After 10 minutes, many were panting heavily, especially Zhang Heben. His werewolf transformation had taken a heavy toll. Not only had he been forced back into his original form, but he was also covered in sweat and looked incredibly weak. Yet the monster, after being killed so many times, was still full of energy. It seemed like an immortal perpetual motion machine. Seeing the monster roar and charge again, everyone's faces darkened. "You damned monster! Get lost!" Wang Fei shouted, throwing a punch at the monster. His arm instantly extended, his punch was fast and accurate, and he seemed to still have stamina. He must have added a lot to his physical attributes. The monster was hit again. Unexpectedly, this time the monster retaliated as soon as it was hit. The monster's claws lashed out, grabbing Wang Fei's arm. PFFT, blood splattered. 3 deep, bloody gashes, deep enough to expose bone, were instantly torn from Wang Fei's right arm by the monster's claws. "Ah!" the boy screamed in agony, rolling on the ground in pain. "Wang Fei," Suzuki shouted, quickly using his ability to extend arms from the monster's legs, locking its calves and tripping it. Several teammates immediately pulled Wang Fei back, creating distance between them and the monster. Seeing this, Zhao Zheng finally stepped forward. "Take him aside to rest, and you too." With that, he ignored everyone's gaze and walked towards the monster. My tendons are severed," Wang Fei screamed, his face filled with terror. Upon hearing this, Song Haitang immediately comforted him. "Don't worry, this is the amnesiac spirit realm. Everything will be restored after we get out." Hearing this, Wang Fei's terror subsided, and he felt much more at ease. He endured the pain, his gaze fixed on Zhao Zheng. The monster didn't care who Zhao Zheng was. Any creature that saw its face was its target. In fact, in the rules of this spirit realm, the team leader was its priority target. Unfortunately, Zhao Zheng knew its origin, which kept Song Haitang's eyes closed. Roar! The monster roared, lunging at Zhao Zheng who had approached it. Seeing this, Zhao Zheng didn't hold back, slapping it hard across the face. Dealing with this kind of creature required no skill. Bang! A cracking sound rang out. The monster was instantly sent flying, like a cannonball, crashing heavily into the train wall before finally dissipating the impact and landing on the ground, a pile of mud. Its bones were shattered. It couldn't get up for a long time. Everyone was astonished by the power Zhao Zheng had displayed. However, upon closer inspection, they realized it was normal. After all, Zhao Zheng had obtained a full 700 spirit energy points in the previous 2 spirit realms. With so many spirit energy points, if he chose the strength path, Zhao Zheng's current strength would be at least 400 points. Stronger than all of them. 40 times the strength of an ordinary person. Unleashing such an attack wasn't outrageous. At this moment, Zhao Zheng was also somewhat surprised. However, what surprised him was the walls of the racing train. That blow was no small feat. The monster's bones were all broken, yet the walls remained completely unscathed, without even a scratch. This demonstrated the train's incredible sturdiness. He estimated that the materials used to build the train were beyond his comprehension. Perhaps even containing indestructible rules. Perhaps Zhao Zheng's attack had been too destructive. A full minute passed before the monster recovered and rose again. Then, it roared once more and charged tirelessly towards Zhao Zheng. But as it got close, Zhao Zheng slapped it back. Next, the monster and Zhao Zheng repeated this cycle. Every minute, the monster would be slapped and shattered. The monster remained resilient, showing no intention of changing. Zhao Zheng showed no intention of changing either. He could fight like this for 10 days without food or water. In fact, he only needed to hold out for a few more minutes until the train arrived at its destination. A few minutes later, the train began to slow down and gradually came to a stop. After the train came to a complete stop, the monster suddenly seemed to have come to its senses. It stopped its rage and howling, and silently crouched back in a corner, facing the wall in repentance. Then, the announcement rang out, "The train has arrived at the station. All participants, please disembark in order and enter the Arena of the Heavens. The Arena of the Heavens will begin in half an hour." After the announcement, all the train carriage doors opened simultaneously. The new teams of participants emerged from the carriages. However, many teams had numerous injured members, and some had even suffered casualties. Clearly, the journey hadn't been smooth for everyone. Zhang Hebin and the others helped Wang Fei out of the carriage. Song Haitang and Zhao Zheng followed behind. Zhao Zheng had originally wanted to take out the extraordinary item reward from the second level of the spirit realm to examine it. Actually, he had received a notification as soon as he entered the spirit realm and was very curious about what it would be. However, he thought better of it. It wasn't convenient to take it out now, he could take it after the competition. After all, extraordinary item rewards could be obtained anytime, anywhere, there was no need to rush. After disembarking from the train, everyone arrived at a wide, flat plaza. Not far away stood a massive circular building. Zhao Zheng, with his excellent eyesight, could see 5 large characters engraved on it, Arena of the Heavens. At the same time, he heard the whispers of many people around him. Is this the Arena of the Heavens? What a magnificent building, the competition must be inside. I wonder who my opponent is. What? You didn't lose your qualification, no, sigh. The monster on the train was too terrifying. Our captain chose to forfeit and has lost his qualification. Hearing this, Zhao Zheng couldn't help but turn to Song Haitang beside him. The captain could choose to forfeit on the train, he asked. Song Haitang nodded. Yes, Zhao Zheng understood. The monster on the train was probably the first test everyone faced. It was also a way for the spirit realm to eliminate some weaker teams early on. After all, there were far too many freshmen participating in the competition this time. Freshmen from all over the world had gathered together, numbering at least 1 million. If they didn't eliminate some early, how long would the competition last? Then, Zhao Zheng noticed that all the new students were heading towards the arena. It seemed that even those eliminated could remain spectators and continue watching the competition. As they drew closer, the sheer size of the All Heavens arena became increasingly apparent, comparable to 10 football fields. There were many entrances to the arena, Zhao Zheng and his group chose the closest one and joined the queue. The moment they entered, the competition rules appeared in their left eyes. Chapter 88: The True Opponent, Monsters from All Heavens. The rules of the martial arts competition are numerous. The biggest highlight is the ability to concede or forfeit. If you realize you can't beat your opponent, simply shout "I concede," to end the fight and leave the arena. No wonder the teachers say the third level of the spiritual realm is relatively safe. Being able to concede or forfeit certainly makes it safer. Of course, if you don't have time to shout "I concede" and are instantly killed by your opponent, then you can only blame your own lack of strength. Wang Fei. After reading the rules, Zhao Zheng directly said to Wang Fei, "Don't go on stage later, just forfeit." Wang Fei's face was somewhat pale, perhaps due to blood loss. Hearing this, he immediately nodded and said, "Okay, brother Zhao." Earlier on the train, if Zhao Zheng hadn't stepped in and stopped that unkillable monster, they would have had a real hard time dealing with it. It was Zhao Zheng's correct advice at the beginning, not disturbing the monster, that allowed everyone to successfully get through the first 13 minutes. At this moment, Zhang Hebin and the others completely believed the rumor. Zhao Zheng indeed possessed a unique mind, able to foresee opportunities and discover the monster's characteristics. If you find your opponents too strong, be sure to concede and forfeit, Zhao Zheng added. Don't be reckless, it's not worth dying here. The reason they weren't told to forfeit outright was that the final rewards for this Spirit Realm event were based on team rankings. The more opponents a team defeated, the more points they would earn. Many hands make light work. Everyone working together and defeating more opponents would inevitably yield more points. Everyone nodded, their eyes filled with gratitude as they looked at Zhao Zheng. Unexpectedly, Zhao Zheng then turned to Song Haitang. "Haitang, you too, if you should forfeit, forfeit. Don't take risks. Leave the rest to me." Song Haitang obediently nodded. Now everyone was a little confused. What was going on? Wasn't Song Haitang the strongest member of their team? If even Song Haitang forfeited, how could they possibly compete? "Please proceed to your seating area according to your number." A notification popped up in everyone's left eye. Their team had already been assigned a number on the train. Number 96. Following the number, they quickly found seating area 96. The arena stands were divided into rows of 10 seats, one for each team. The seats were staggered, ensuring privacy and preventing conversations from disturbing other teams. After finding their seats, everyone settled down, waiting for the competition to begin. Everyone was relaxed. The rules of the competition prohibited attacks outside the ring area. Whoever struck first was doomed. Furthermore, without the captain's permission, members of other teams couldn't enter another team's seating area. Therefore, sitting here, there was no fear of being attacked from behind. However, once everyone was seated, many faces quickly showed surprise. Because, opposite them sat countless monsters. These monsters were all bizarre and strange, some resembled octopuses, others earthworms, reptiles, and even minotaurs. Most outrageously, one monster was enormous, resembling a small mountain even while seated, extremely conspicuous. What's going on? Could they be our next opponents? So, in this competition, our real opponents are actually monsters. In our eyes, they are monsters. But in their eyes, aren't we monsters too? That's right. Judging from their orderly arrangement and mutual non-interference, they clearly possess extremely high intelligence. Perhaps they are facing an unknown biological civilization, so that's how the arena of the heavens works. Those who come to this arena are all extraordinary beings from various heavens, right? We humans are just one of them, the crowd discussed animatedly. Zhao Zheng agreed with everyone's guesses. It was obvious. Then, Zhao Zheng noticed a vertical screen next to their seats. It displayed the rankings of the human zone and each team. Currently, everyone's score was 0. Zhao Zheng cracked his knuckles, feeling that today might be a tough battle. The arena's audience seating was divided into 3 major civilization zones. Human civilization was just one of them. In the middle section were numerous arenas. There were over 1,000 of them. Having so many arenas was definitely to accelerate the elimination process. Otherwise, with at least several million members of the civilization present, how long would it take to hold a single arena for a martial arts competition? Half an hour passed quickly. There was no opening ceremony, no fancy gimmicks. As soon as the time was up, the martial arts competition began. Opponents appeared simultaneously on thousands of arenas. They had been teleported from the spirit realm. There were humans and monsters. Upon meeting, They didn't exchange any words and immediately started fighting. Zhao Zheng glanced around. Generally, the outcome was decided within 1 or 2 moves. It was rare to see such close and evenly matched battles. The first round was an elimination tournament. The opponents were randomly matched by the spirit realm. If you were lucky, you would be matched with a weak opponent. If you were unlucky, you would be matched with a strong opponent and would have to lose. Zhao Zheng noticed that in less than a minute, there were already casualties on the arenas. They were instantly killed. Seeing this, Zhao Zheng almost wanted Song Haitang to forfeit. However, he didn't say it. A reminder popped up in his left eye: you are about to enter the arena. Please decide whether to enter before the countdown ends. If you have not made a choice by the end of the countdown, it will be considered a forfeit. 1. Enter. 2. Forfeit. The countdown lasted only 15 seconds. Zhao Zheng was stunned. He hadn't expected to be the first in his team to enter. It's my turn. He chose 1 as soon as he finished speaking. The instant he made his choice, a portal appeared before him, enveloping him. The next moment, Zhao Zheng appeared on the arena in the center area. His opponent appeared at the same time. It was a spider-like monster. Seeing Zhao Zheng, it roared and pounced. Zhao Zheng didn't hold back, slapping him from a distance. Fist Wind Impact. Although this skill had successfully upgraded to Fist Bone Impact under the interference of armament haki. However, this didn't mean Zhao Zheng could no longer use Fist Wind Impact. He could unleash a fist wind with a mere flick of his wrist. So, when Zhao Zheng slapped out, a violent hurricane instantly swept across the arena. Whoosh! Caught on the hurricane's grip, the spider monster's massive body was sent flying backward, crashing off the stage. Zhao Zheng won easily. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 89, Stunning the Audience. Song Haitang's Flames. Opponent has fallen out of the arena. Congratulations on your victory. Please note, you will be teleported back to your seat soon. With a notification appearing in his left eye, Zhao Zheng was instantly teleported back. Zhang Hebing and the others were stunned. Brother Zhao, I haven't even found which arena you're in yet. You've already defeated your opponent and returned. From Zhao Zheng's entrance to his return, the entire process took less than 5 seconds. Finding Zhao Zheng among thousands of arenas in such a short time was indeed difficult. Zhao Zheng smiled and said, my opponent was too weak. I just finished him off in 1 move and came back. Everyone, that makes perfect sense. Look, our team has points, Wang Fei suddenly said. Everyone looked at the screen next to them. The screen displayed a line of data. Team number 96 Song Haitang, current points. 1. Current ranking. 771. This 1 point was what Zhao Zheng had just earned from his victory. The team currently in first place already had 3 points. It's my turn, Su Zikyu suddenly said, his voice slightly tense. Zikyu, go for it. Wang Fei had barely finished encouraging her when Su Zikyu vanished from her seat and was teleported to the arena. Zhao Zheng's gaze caught Su Zikyu being teleported to the edge. Her opponent was a fleshy monster covered in tentacles. Seeing Su Zikyu, the monster wriggled towards her. Su Zikyu immediately activated her ability, attempting a ranged attack. Unexpectedly, her hands, barely emerging from the tumor, were quickly ensnared by the tentacles. The sticky sensation sent shivers down Su Zikyu's spine. Ah! The girl screamed, immediately abruptly stopping her devil fruit ability. Seeing this, Zhao Zheng shouted, Su Zikyu, admit defeat. This girl didn't have Nico Robin's power to conjure giant hands or feet to attack enemies. Since her devil fruit ability was ineffective against a fleshy monster, continuing would only lead to humiliation. What if this monster had some perverse fetish? Su Zikyu would be in real trouble. On the arena, Su Zikyu seemed to hear Zhao Zheng's voice and immediately shouted, I concede. Instantly, her figure vanished from the arena, leaving the monster's tentacles empty-handed. The next moment, Su Zikyu returned to her seat, a look of shame on her face. I'm sorry, I concede. Everyone comforted her, saying, it's alright, winning and losing is normal in martial arts competitions, don't take it to heart. That monster was indeed a bit troublesome, it was right for you to concede. Yes, Zikyu, we still have Sister Haitang. At this point, everyone's faces were clouded with worry. They had originally thought the third level of the spirit realm was a simple competition between new students, and that they could just follow Song Haitang and win without any problems. Unexpectedly, what truly determined the rankings was the team's points. Now that Su Ziqiu had conceded and Wang Fei was injured and unable to fight, it was like losing two members all at once. And this was only the first round. If their luck turns sour and they are eliminated one after another, it could very well drag Song Haitang down with them. After all, no matter how strong Song Haitang is, she can't compete with the combined efforts of an elite team, even if she works herself to death. Thinking of this, many people clenched their fists, determined to perform well and try to get more points. "It's my turn," Song Haitang said calmly. Then, the girl was teleported away from her seat and appeared on the arena. Zhao Zheng's eyes quickly searched and soon found Song Haitang's body. Mainly because his wife's appearance was too outstanding, like a natural protagonist, a firefly in the dark, very eye-catching. Not only Zhao Zheng, but everyone else also quickly noticed Song Haitang. Everyone became nervous. Song Haitang was everyone's hope. If Song Haitang lost, then they would have no chance at all and could only get the guaranteed reward. Yes, the spirit realm has a guaranteed reward. 10 spirit energy points. As long as you participate in the spirit realm adventure, even if you completely give up in the spirit realm and just hide and don't kill any monsters, you will still get it. This must be the method by which that South Korean Kryptonian bloodline holder was able to survive to the 10th level of the spirit realm. At this moment, on the arena, Song Haitang's opponent was an indescribable monster. It was like a puddle of mud in a swamp, without eyes, arms, or even a fixed shape. Although this monster looked somewhat disgusting, its abilities were extremely troublesome. Suddenly, it melted, turning into a puddle of mud that scattered around the arena. Then, all the mud moved, surrounding Song Haitang from all directions. This monster was also making its first appearance, so it didn't know what would happen if it surrounded it. Song Haitang clearly didn't want to try. Seeing how troublesome and unpredictable the monster's abilities were, in order to prevent the monster from getting close, Song Haitang simply used a ruthless move. Poof! Flames ignited on Song Haitang's hands. The next moment, the girl waved her hands, and the flames quickly spread across the arena, instantly forming a sea of fire. The flames soared into the sky, their power astonishing, attracting the attention of the entire audience. Under the intense heat of the flames, the monster didn't even have the chance to utter a word of surrender before it was instantly killed. Song Haitang won easily. At the moment of victory, Song Haitang could clearly feel countless eyes fixed on her from the audience. Clearly, they considered her a formidable opponent. When Song Haitang returned to her seat, she saw Zhao Zheng's satisfied expression and the excitement of her other teammates. "Captain, you're amazing." 10 hours later, the first round of elimination finally ended. Half of the participants from each civilization were eliminated, while the other half successfully advanced. However, the second round of elimination did not begin immediately. Instead, it was time for a break. After all, not everyone is physically strong. After 10 hours, many people were tired, sleepy, and exhausted. A teleportation portal appeared before everyone. According to the prompt, the portal led to a restaurant with food and rest areas. Everyone had 5 hours to enjoy the food or rest. 5 hours later, the second round of elimination would begin. In the arena of the heavens, there seemed to be no distinction between day and night. Seeing the prompt, everyone stepped into the teleportation tunnel. Zhao Zheng, Song Haitang, and the others did the same. It was a place similar to a buffet restaurant. It was incredibly large. Larger than 10 football fields combined. Otherwise, it wouldn't be able to accommodate so many new human students. And this was only the human area. In other areas, the monster civilizations ate different food than humans. Inside the restaurant, many delicious foods were laid out haphazardly, their aromas enticing. After entering the restaurant, Zhao Zheng immediately found a plate and began picking out his favorite foods. However, the others in the team didn't share his good mood. Except for Song Haitang, Zhang Heben, Chen Kai, and the others all looked worried. Because in the first round of elimination matches, they only got 5 points. This meant that half of the 10-person team had already been eliminated. Chapter 90 Zhao Zheng, with me here, what are you panicking about? The members who have successfully advanced from the team are Zhao Zheng, Song Haitang, Chen Kai, Zhou Junji, and Shen Nana. Chen Kai's steel fist is quite powerful, forcefully knocking his opponent off the stage. Zhou Junji's hand chop is also fierce, severing one of his opponent's pincers with a single strike, scaring his opponent into surrendering on the spot. As for Shen Nana, she is the strongest of the three. On the stage, she transforms into a giant python, whipping her tail and instantly killing her opponent, goat-headed monster. Among those eliminated, Su Ziqiu and Wang Fei are not worth mentioning. Zhang Hebin was unable to transform because he had exhausted too much energy on the train. Yu Zhong, the user of the blast fruit, was unlucky, encountering a stone golem with incredible defense that completely countered his ability. Li Jun's ghost teleportation ability is indeed unpredictable and might be useful elsewhere, but it's not suitable for him to utilize on the stage. His opponent was a mantis monster, very similar to the monsters in the second level of the spirit realm, but much stronger and incredibly fast. If Li Jun hadn't surrendered quickly, he would have been torn to pieces. Half of the team was eliminated in the first round. For other ordinary teams, this was nothing. But for a team aiming for the championship, it was a painful blow. Now, team number 96, led by Song Haitang, had dropped to outside the top 10,000, their exact ranking unknown. This was because the leaderboard only counted the top 10,000. How could anyone be happy with such a result? Even more disheartening was that on the human civilization side, the number 1 ranked team was an old acquaintance, Ma Jun's team from Peking University. Team number 438. That petty Ma Jun had miraculously advanced with all members, achieving a perfect score of 10 in the first round of eliminations. Why are you all looking so long-faced? Zhao Zheng frowned. Eat and drink, rest a bit after you've eaten and drunk your fill. There's still a competition to come, brother Zhao, Zhang Hebin said awkwardly. We didn't expect that the rankings in this spirit realm competition are based on team points, not like what the teacher said, it's only the first round, and we're already eliminated. I'm afraid we'll be dragging you and Sister Haitang down this spirit realm. Upon hearing this, the other 4 also looked ashamed. As long as you don't lose any members, it'll be fine, Song Haitang's voice rang out. Her expression was calm, and there was no worry on her pretty face. Haitang is right, Zhao Zheng said with a smile. My requirement for you is that you don't lose any members. The rest is up to Haitang and me. Zhang Hebin wanted to say something. Suddenly, an unpleasant voice rang out from the side. Isn't this the first team of freshmen? What a coincidence. Everyone immediately looked towards the source of the voice. They saw Ma Jun leading a group of people, slowly walking towards them. Compared to Zhang Hebin and his group's dejected state, Ma Jun and his crew were all smug and proud, like peacocks. As they approached, Ma Jun asked with a smile, Song Haitang, may I ask how many points you got on the first round of eliminations? I didn't see you on the leaderboard. Upon hearing this, Ma Jun's companions burst into laughter. Zhang Hebin and the others, however, were both angry and ashamed. If they hadn't dragged them down, Ma Jun wouldn't have been able to mock them so smugly. Youth is truly wonderful, Zhao Zheng remarked. Only young people could pull off such a low-level mockery. If it were him, he would be embarrassed to the point of disappearing into the ground. Immature, was Song Haitang's assessment. Ma Jun and his group were taken aback. Then, the guy laughed even harder. Song Haitang, I admit you're amazing, but you probably never expected that the rankings in this spirit realm are actually based on the team's total points, right? How does it feel to be dragged down by these useless guys? Don't you regret your choice? This time, forget about an SSS level mission rating. You won't even get an A level 1. Song Haitang was too lazy to waste words with these people and picked up her plate to get some food. She hadn't eaten or drunk anything for 10 hours, and she was starving. Haitang, this shrimp ball is delicious. Zhao Zheng picked up a shrimp ball from his bowl with his chopsticks and handed it to Song Haitang. Come on, open your mouth. Song Haitang was a little shy. But she still opened her mouth and let Zhao Zheng feed her. Ma Jun, such public displays of affection made everyone around them feel uncomfortable. Ma Jun hesitated several times before finally leading his team away. Looking back at his burly teammates, he suddenly felt that the food on his plate didn't taste so good anymore. After eating and drinking their fill, the group went to the rest area. They found a private room to rest. The room had single sofas with reclining positions, all designed to human comfort. Haitang and I will sleep for a while. If we're not awake by then, wake us up, Zhao Zheng said. This was a bit ambiguous. Song Haitang blushed instantly. Everyone, Zhao Zheng didn't care, however, and simply lay down on the sofa, falling fast asleep. He was in a great mood. Because the competition rules clearly stated that once in the official competition, one could become the reigning champion and defend their title. If he didn't have enough points, he would become the champion and take on all the opponents alone. He could earn enough points in one go. So, what was there to panic about? Besides, fighting was prohibited in the restaurant, so sleeping here was very safe. He could sleep soundly. 5 hours. Not a short time. However, if spent sleeping, it would be just a blink of an eye. So, for Zhao Zheng, these 5 hours were very short. Zhao Zheng was woken up by Zhang Heban. "Brother Zhao, wake up, it's almost time to rest." When Zhao Zheng woke up, he saw Zhang Heban looking exhausted, his eyes bloodshot. "You didn't sleep?" Zhao Zheng asked. Zhang Heban gave a forced smile and said, "I'm fine. Anyway, I've already been eliminated. You guys just need to rest." Zhao Zheng shook his head, too lazy to persuade the guy any further. To be honest, Zhang Heban's personality was very contradictory. When things were going well, he was incredibly arrogant and conceited, looking down on everyone. But once things went wrong, his mentality collapsed faster than a dog's. Zhao Zheng got up from the sofa, stretched his body a little, and felt that he was in excellent condition, full of inexhaustible energy, wishing he could tear the arena apart. A moment later, rest time was over. The teleportation portal appeared in front of everyone on time. Everyone crossed the portal and returned to the arena. The second round of elimination matches began. Chapter 91 Great Fire Blast vs Punch Wind Impact. On thousands of arenas, contestants appeared one after another. Zhao Zheng scanned the crowd and spotted a familiar figure. It was Ma Jun. He hadn't expected this kid to be in the first wave. Ma Jun's opponent was a monster with a human head and a snake's body, over 10 meters long, with terrifying vertical pupils. Seeing Ma Jun, the monster flicked its tongue but didn't rush forward. Suddenly, the monster opened its mouth and spewed out a large amount of venom from its 2 fangs, spraying it towards Ma Jun. The venom was red and hissed when it came into contact with the air, demonstrating its potency. Ma Jun naturally didn't dare let the venom fly towards him. "Great fire breath," he roared, throwing a punch. His fist rapidly transformed into magma, forming a giant fist shape, and hurtled towards the snake-like monster. All the venom along its path was instantly vaporized by the high temperature. Boom! The punch was incredibly fast. The snake-like monster couldn't dodge in time and was hit instantly. The magma fist exploded violently, its power astonishing. A large section of the arena was blasted away. As for the serpentine monster, its entire upper body was blasted to smithereens, leaving only a charred tail remaining, proving it had been there. Seeing his opponent's miserable state, Ma Jun snorted coldly and left the arena with a flourish. After he left, the arena was immediately restored to its original state by the spirit realm. "I didn't expect Ma Jun to be so strong, although this kid is arrogant. You have to admit, his strength is amazing. He got an A-rank mission evaluation and an S-rank mission evaluation. How did he become so strong? I heard it's because of the powerful magma fruit. Even among Logia-type fruits, this fruit is a top-tier one. This guy can increase his attributes by 70 or 80 every month through training. No wonder." Chen Kai and the others whispered among themselves. Even Song Haitang was a little surprised when she saw Ma Jun's performance. Only Zhao Zheng's expression remained calm. Ma Jun's big fire breath was nowhere near as powerful as the real Red Dog's fire breath. Of course, considering Ma Jun is still in his early stages, his strength is indeed quite impressive. Then, among the second wave of fighters, Zhao Zheng saw the seed of strength from the Federation, the one with the Green Lantern ring. This guy's fighting style was incredibly flashy and unpredictable. Green light danced wildly across the arena. One moment he'd conjure an AK, the next a giant pair of scissors, then an axe, a fist, even a fly swatter. To be honest, Zhao Zheng even suspected that his opponent might have given up because he couldn't stand the flashy moves. Furthermore, Zhao Zheng noticed that this Green Lantern wasn't very strong yet, only able to conjure simple things. The only slightly troublesome thing was that he could fly. A moment later, a notification popped up in Zhao Zheng's left eye. "My turn," he said, and his figure left his seat and appeared on the arena. His opponent appeared at the same time. It was a small giant over 3 meters tall, with extremely developed muscles, standing there like a small hill. The opponent's arms were thicker than Zhao Zheng's waist. Seeing Zhao Zheng, the giant grinned and strode towards him. Zhao Zheng didn't want to waste time with such a small fry and threw a punch directly. The force of the punch. PFFT. The giant's head and half of its shoulder disappeared completely. Due to inertia, its body walked a few steps on the stage before crashing down. Zhao Zheng won easily again. In the audience, many people who noticed this scene showed surprised expressions. What's wrong with this kid? What kind of ability or move is that? I don't know, I've never seen it before, but it's very powerful. The force of the punch doesn't seem like it. He looks like that pretty boy who was with Song Haitang. It's him? Impossible. Does he have such strength? His family must have gotten him some powerful supernatural skill. Zhao Zheng's performance surprised many people. He himself, however, was completely unfazed. Now his strength attribute has exceeded 1,000, and with a triple boost from super strength, it's equivalent to 3,000 strength points. Before, with only 300 strength points, his fist wind could shatter a large tree. Let alone now with 3,000 strength points and fist wind impact. Brother Zhao, awesome. Zhang Hebin immediately showered him with flattery as Zhao Zheng returned to his seat. Then, the kid immediately asked, Brother Zhao, was that powerful move you just made a Kryptonian bloodline talent? Zhao Zheng smiled and shook his head, saying, no, it's a supernatural skill given to me by my family, called fist wind impact. Anyway, he lost his memory after leaving the spirit realm, so it didn't matter if he mentioned it. Fist wind impact, Zhou Zhengji suddenly exclaimed in surprise. I know that skill, my dad learned it too, but even though he's already at the 4th level, his fist wind impact isn't as powerful as yours. Brother Zhao, that's because your dad isn't as strong as me to begin with. Zhao Zheng, of course, wouldn't say that. He just smiled and continued looking at the arena, observing if there were any strong opponents. The second round of elimination matches was significantly better than the first. Most of the weaker contestants were eliminated in the first round. Many of the stronger contenders had to demonstrate their true abilities to win. After observing for a while, Zhao Zheng actually discovered several formidable individuals. One was a lizard-like humanoid monster whose speed and strength were astonishing. Newcomers were instantly killed before they could even admit defeat. There was also a giant over 10 meters tall. Even standing still, the newcomers couldn't harm it. Among these monsters, the most troublesome was someone with an unremarkable appearance. It was a monster with a human-like appearance, its features and limbs identical to humans. The only difference was a vertical pupil between its eyebrows. Currently, this pupil hadn't opened. It defeated human superhumans with ease, killing them with a single blow. Zhao Zheng had noticed him in the first round of elimination matches. His intuition told him this guy was extraordinary. The second round of elimination matches concluded in just 5 hours. With the conclusion of the second round of eliminations, the number of participants has been reduced by half again. Currently, in the human zone, the team in first place remains Majun. They earned 8 points in the second round, meaning only 2 of their teammates were eliminated. Their total score of 18 firmly holds them in first place. Second place, with 17 points, belongs to a user of the Rumble fruit from the Great Bear Country. This is also a very powerful Logia-type devil fruit. Its attack power is formidable. The 3rd to 14th place teams all have 16 points, closely following behind. As for Song Haitang's team, considered a championship seed, their current total score is 8. Their current ranking is outside the top 10,000. PS, 6th update. I had to go out this afternoon due to unforeseen circumstances. I apologize for the delay. The 7th update will be at 7 p.m. Chapter 92 The Champion. Facing off against everyone. After the second round of eliminations, there was only a half-hour break. Participants were not allowed to enter the restaurant and had to stay in their original seating area. At this moment, the atmosphere in Song Haitang's team was heavy. 2 more people had been eliminated in the second round. Only Zhao Zheng, Song Haitang, and Chen Kai remained to advance. Looking at the scores on the human ranking leaderboard and then at their team score, everyone's faces showed despair. The gap was too large. And they only had 3 people left. Even if all 3 continued to advance, their scores would never catch up with the top-ranked teams. Unless Song Haitang was willing to gamble everything to become the champion when the official competition arrived. But that would be pure suicide. To become the champion, you have to accept everyone's challenges and defend the stage. Even though Song Haitang had received SSS-level mission evaluations in the previous 2 rounds, and her mental attribute had exceeded 1,000, making her the top student among the freshmen, it was impossible for her to withstand so many challenges. It was simply unrealistic. Brother Zhao, Sister Haitang, I'm so sorry. If we hadn't held you back, you wouldn't be in this situation, Zhang Heban said apologetically. He could imagine that once they left the spirit realm, if Song Haitang only got a B-level mission evaluation, the news would cause a sensation across the internet. Those media outlets, who had previously praised Song Haitang so highly, would then turn around and criticize her mercilessly. He had relatives in the self-media industry, so he knew very well that those self-media outlets would say anything for traffic, without considering the feelings of the person involved. Therefore, Song Haitang would likely face multiple blows after leaving. No need to apologize, Song Haitang said calmly, you are already the most outstanding students at Zhanwu University. Your poor grades now are not your fault. Hearing this, everyone was still somewhat embarrassed. Alright, Zhao Zheng suddenly said unhappily, it's not over yet. Are you all so pessimistic? Isn't this affecting morale? I still want to win the championship. Hearing this, Chen Kai and the others looked at Zhao Zheng in surprise. Win the championship? How can you possibly win in this situation? Are you dreaming? Song Haitang looked at Zhao Zheng. The two worked together seamlessly, and the girl quickly understood what Zhao Zheng was planning to do, become the champion. To face everyone. She was confident in Zhao Zheng's terrifying strength. However, doing so was still a bit risky. After all, the human side was relatively safe, but who knew what terrifying beings might exist on the monster civilization side? That's too dangerous, Song Haitang asked worriedly. Are you confident? Let's try, Zhao Zheng said with a smile. If I really can't hold on, I can admit defeat, it'll just mean my points are reset to 0. At worst, I'll just get the worst score in this spirit realm. Song Haitang remembered Zhao Zheng's terrifying defensive power and felt that Zhao Zheng shouldn't be in any danger, so she nodded in agreement. The two didn't lower their voices. Everyone was captivated. Then, everyone was a little confused. From Zhao Zheng's words, he was going to become the champion? But, wasn't that just courting death? Even if it was a gamble, shouldn't Song Haitang have gone instead? After all, Song Haitang's strength was undeniable. She had a chance to concede when surrounded. Zhao Zheng? Wasn't he afraid of being instantly killed by so many powerful opponents? The half-hour break passed quickly. The third round of elimination began, followed by the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth rounds. Each round eliminated half the participants. Therefore, when the 10th and final round of elimination began, fewer than 10,000 participants remained in the arena. Originally, the three intelligent civilizations had tens of millions of participants. After 9 rounds, 99% of the participants had been eliminated. The arena, which originally had thousands of platforms, was now merged into 10 super large platforms. Each platform covered an area of over 1,000 square meters, facilitating the display of strength. With the elimination rounds reaching the 10th round, almost all the remaining participants were strong. Weak individuals might be lucky enough to survive the earlier rounds, but they certainly wouldn't make it to the final round. The probability was too low. For example, Song Haitang's team currently only has Zhao Zheng and Song Haitang left. Chen Kai was eliminated in the 5th round. He was defeated by a crocodile monster. This kid was very stubborn and refused to admit defeat at first. In the end, he was seriously injured and bitten by the crocodile monster before finally admitting defeat. If it weren't for his innate ability of steelification, he would have almost died on the stage. That crocodile monster is very strong and has now successfully advanced to the 10th round. On the human side, the team currently ranked first is no longer the one led by Ma Jun. They are ranked second and still have 3 members who have not been eliminated. The team ranked first is the one from the Great Bear country named Victor, a user of the Rumble fruit. Not only is he himself strong, but his team members are also of very high quality, with many strong members. Most of the other teams have been eliminated. Only Victor's team still has 5 members who have successfully advanced to the 10th round. Currently, Victor's team has a total score of 82 points, far ahead of the competition. The Ma Jun team, ranked second, followed closely behind, only 3 points behind the first place, with 79 points. Third place went to the Green Lantern team from the Federation, with a total score of 75 points, and still had 3 members remaining. As for Song Haitang's team, their current total score is 24 points, and their current overall ranking is 9,988. Yes, despite Song Haitang's team's poor performance, they still managed to get into the top 10,000. This is because, By the 10th round of the elimination tournament, many teams had been eliminated, and even those that weren't wiped out had only one member remaining. Zhao Zheng and Song Haitang, however, had performed consistently, maintaining their position as a duo. Therefore, they surpassed many human teams and entered the top 10,000. "Haitang, how are you?" Zhao Zheng, seeing the fatigue on Song Haitang's pretty face, couldn't help but ask, "Why don't you just forfeit and take a break?" The 10th round of the elimination tournament actually took a very long time. Even with the breaks in between, the participants were still quite exhausted. Except for a few individuals with abnormal physiques, like Zhao Zheng. "I'm fine," Song Haitang shook her head, insisting. "Let's rest later." Although she knew her insistence was pointless, she wanted to prove she wasn't just a pretty face and see how far she could go among the newly emerging powerhouses. Alright then, Zhao Zheng knew this girl was stubborn. Once she made up her mind, nothing could change it. He didn't try to persuade her further, only saying, "Tell me if you feel tired, don't push yourself, okay?" "I know." Song Haitang knew Zhao Zheng was concerned for her. A smile appeared on her pretty face. At this moment, on the arena, the 10th round of elimination matches had begun. Powerful figures appeared on all 10 arenas. 7th update. Speeding up the pace, the protagonist will soon become the arena champion, slaughtering all sides. Please support the protagonist with monthly tickets. Chapter 93 Emperor Yan. Song Haitang's defeat. "I'm going up now," Song Haitang suddenly announced. Everyone was immediately drawn to her. "Who's your opponent?" Zhao Zheng asked. From the 6th round onwards, the opponent's appearance would be displayed when the match began. Song Haitang looked towards ring number 7 and said, "It's that three-eyed guy." Hearing this, Zhao Zheng's face immediately darkened. After so many rounds of elimination matches, he had already witnessed many extraordinary masters. Those so-called strong individuals were really nothing special in his eyes. Only this three-eyed guy was somewhat unfathomable. Mainly because he could easily defeat his opponents without even using his full strength. After a moment's hesitation, Zhao Zheng still advised, "Haitang, this guy gives me a dangerous feeling. Why don't you forfeit?" Song Haitang frowned slightly upon hearing this. She would definitely take Zhao Zheng's suggestion seriously. However, she also had her own thoughts. "Since he gives you a dangerous feeling, let me test his strength first." Song Haitang stood up and said, "Don't worry, my mental perception is very sharp. If there is any danger, I will immediately admit defeat." With that, she disappeared from her seat and was teleported to the arena. Zhao Zheng had no choice but to look intently at the arena. On arena number 7, when Song Haitang and Three-Eyed faced off, it immediately attracted the attention of all the participants. Humans and monsters alike turned their gazes towards arena number 7. In the previous 9 rounds, both of them had performed exceptionally well. Song Haitang was like a goddess of fire, easily defeating her enemies. Three-Eyed, on the other hand, was mysterious and unpredictable. Many previously outstanding powerhouses were defeated in a single move by him, demonstrating unfathomable strength. Among the monsters, Three-Eyed was recognized as the strongest. And Song Haitang seemed to be the top newcomer among humans. A battle between two tops was truly exciting. A moment later, Song Haitang on the arena made her move first. Poof, a fierce flame erupted from the girl's right palm, slowly condensing into a sphere. Then, the girl raised her right hand above her head. The fireball rapidly expanded. In just a few breaths, a colossal fireball with a diameter exceeding 15 meters appeared in Song Haitang's palm. It was like a dazzling sun. The entire arena was reflected red by the raging flames. The temperature in the air was rising rapidly. The Flame Emperor. Although Song Haitang's move wasn't as powerful as Ace's, it was still incredibly imposing. At this moment, the girl was like a god holding up the sun, full of majesty. Countless people were amazed. In the audience, seeing Song Haitang use such a move, Ma Jun's right hand couldn't help but tremble slightly. He finally understood that the title of the top freshman was truly well-deserved. Song Haitang's move was far superior to his proud Great Fire Breath, not far from Ma Jun. Victor, from the Great Bear Country, also frowned, his gaze fixed on the woman on the stage. As a fellow Logia-type Devil Fruit user, he admitted he was temporarily inferior to Song Haitang. On the stage, Three Eyes was somewhat surprised to see Song Haitang unleash such a powerful attack. However, he quickly regained his composure, his eyes turning icy cold. Then, Three Eyes raised his hands, gathering them in front of his chest, forming a strange hand seal, the tip resembling a cannon muzzle. At this moment, the cannon muzzle was already aimed at Song Haitang. This was clearly an attack move. It was also the first time Three Eyes had used a technique since the start of the competition. Previously, he had dealt with other contestants with either a punch or a palm strike, easily finishing them off in one move. Clearly, Song Haitang's powerful attack had put some pressure on him, forcing him to use some of his strength to counter. Seeing this, Song Haitang immediately hurled the enormous fireball in her hand towards Three Eyes. Whoosh! A giant fireball, like a mountain peak, bearing immense force, crashed down upon the three-eyed monster with overwhelming speed. It arrived before the three-eyed monster in the blink of an eye, slamming down upon it. But the three-eyed monster, facing this powerful pressure, remained completely unfazed, even ignoring Song Haitang's Flame Emperor. It still aimed its hands at Song Haitang and launched its own attack. Pop! A tiny energy cannon instantly ripped through the void. It even pierced directly through Song Haitang's Flame Emperor. The energy cannon, like a bullet, headed straight for Song Haitang. The girl wasn't exaggerating, her perception was indeed powerful. The moment the three-eyed monster fired its energy cannon, she felt a sense of impending doom. A strong sense of crisis enveloped her. In the nick of time, the girl transformed into a ball of flame and swiftly moved. Not elementalization. Song Haitang couldn't elementalize yet. She was simply using fire to increase thrust and make her movement faster. Even so, she still hadn't completely dodged Three-Eyed's attack. Poof! A burst of flames and blood mist erupted from Song Haitang's shoulder. She had been pierced by Three-Eyed's ki blast. At the same time, her Flame Emperor also devoured Three-Eyed. Boom! A deafening explosion. The entire arena was engulfed in flames, turning into a sea of fire. Seeing this, all the contestants were astonished. They wondered how they could counter Song Haitang's attack. They ultimately realized they were powerless to do so. As the flames slowly subsided, Song Haitang's figure appeared first on the arena. Her left shoulder was covered in blood, clearly severely injured. However, she was strong, standing proudly, her face showing no sign of pain except for a slightly pale complexion. A moment later, a figure emerged from the raging fire. It was Three-Eyed. It appeared completely unharmed, not even its clothes were torn. Everyone was astonished. Upon closer inspection, they discovered that Three-Eyed's entire body was enveloped in a transparent aura, preventing the flames from getting close. What kind of ability was this? How could it be so terrifying? The contestants were astonished. In the audience, Zhao Zheng stared intently at the arena, his fists clenched so tightly they cracked. You three-eyed bastard. When I meet him, I'll gouge out your 3 eyes, or I'm not Zhao anymore. On the arena, seeing Three-Eyed emerge unharmed, Song Haitang sighed softly. Then, the girl stopped arguing and said, I concede. Instantly, her figure vanished from the arena and was teleported back to the audience. Three-Eyed was stunned. He had wanted to kill this human woman. She conceded quickly enough. Then, Three-Eyed seemed to sense an angry gaze. He looked up and saw Zhao Zheng in the audience, staring intently at him. Three-Eyed simply smiled faintly, completely unconcerned. As the victor, he has no need to care about the impotent rage of the losers. Chapter 94 I'll be the champion, who agrees and who disagrees? In the stands, the demon race area erupted in cheers. The monster race area remained unmoved. The human race area, however, was demoralized. Song Haitang's recent battle had a significant impact. Everyone recognized her as the top newcomer. Now that she had lost to the Three-Eyed one, it indirectly damaged the morale of the human side. This made everyone feel that humanity was unlikely to win the championship in this martial arts competition. Because even their strongest had lost. With a Three-Eyed one around, who could possibly win? Although Song Haitang had dampened human morale, no one blamed her. They weren't blind. That Three-Eyed one was indeed ridiculously strong, and his abilities were unpredictable, even immune to such fire attacks. Song Haitang was completely countered. Continuing to fight would only be a futile act of defiance. It was better to admit defeat and save her life. Haitang. How are you? Zhao Zheng looked at Song Haitang's bloodied shoulder, his face ashen. He was furious. If he encounters that Three-Eyed guy on the arena later, he will definitely go all out and kill him instantly, giving him no chance to admit defeat. I'm fine. Seeing Zhao Zheng's concerned expression, Song Haitang's pretty face showed a sweet smile. It's just a superficial injury, nothing serious. It will recover after leaving the spirit realm. This is the amnesia spirit realm. As long as you can leave alive, even the most serious injuries will be completely healed. Although Zhao Zheng knew this, he was still angry. If Song Haitang hadn't been quick-witted and dodged just now, he would have lost his proud little wife. It's good that you're alright. Sit down and rest for a while. I'll treat your wound when we get to the rest room, Zhao Zheng said. Song Haitang nodded. Okay, I'll leave it to you from now on, don't worry about me. Hearing these confident words, the girl smiled. After the two finished talking, the others stepped forward to express their concern. A moment later, it was Zhao Zheng's turn to go on stage. His opponent was that crocodile monster. This was the one who eliminated Chen Kai. Although Zhao Zheng was filled with rage and wanted to vent, he didn't display much strength after going on stage. He simply seized the opportunity, grabbed the crocodile monster's tail, and used brute force to throw it off the stage, thus winning. This guy was cunning. He deliberately displayed an appearance of mere brute strength to mislead the other contestants. Mainly, it was to deceive Three-Eyed. When Zhao Zheng returned victorious, he immediately received admiring glances from everyone. Only Chen Kai looked at Zhao Zheng thoughtfully. Chen Kai had fought that crocodile monster before and knew how astonishing its strength was. He hadn't expected Zhao Zheng to actually defeat it in brute force. So, what was Zhao Zheng's strength attribute? 2 hours later, the 10th and final round of the elimination tournament finally ended. 4,779 people successfully advanced. Song Haitang's team was left with only Zhao Zheng. Even the strongest member, Song Haitang, had been eliminated. The other teams fared much worse. The elimination tournament was over. Next, it was the official finals. However, before the finals began, the spirit realm mercifully granted 10 hours of rest, allowing everyone to rest well and recharge, so they could face the finals in top condition. When the teleportation channel appeared, everyone stepped inside. Having not rested for so long, everyone was exhausted. After entering the restaurant, Zhao Zheng told the other team members to go eat first, while he took Song Haitang to the rest room. In the rest room, there were some basic medical supplies to help Song Haitang temporarily treat her wounds. Haitang, can you take off your clothes? I need to clean your wounds first before bandaging them. Hearing this, Song Haitang's pretty face flushed red. However, she obediently took off her outer clothes, leaving only her underwear. Hiss. Zhao Zheng gasped. He hadn't expected that beneath this girl's cold exterior, she had such a voluptuous figure. Snow-white skin, a flat stomach, and a slender waist without any excess fat, truly captivating. It took a full hour for Zhao Zheng to bandage Song Haitang's wounds. Anyone who didn't know better would think Song Haitang was seriously injured. It took so long to get her bandaged. Afterwards, the two met up with Zhang Hebin and the others at the restaurant. After eating and drinking their fill, they went to the lounge to discuss their next plan. Seeing everyone's dejected looks, Zhao Zheng sneered. What? You're just going to give up like this? Don't you want to win the championship? Everyone was stunned. Wang Fei asked curiously, Brother Zhao, you're the only one left who hasn't been eliminated, and you've already entered the finals. How can you win the championship? Is there any other way to make a comeback? Of course, Zhao Zheng said confidently. Everyone was surprised. Then, Zhang Hebin seemed to remember something and asked uncertainly, Brother Zhao, you don't want to become the champion, do you? What? Is that not allowed? Zhao Zheng asked with a smile. Wang Fei and the others exchanged glances. Even with his kid's simple intelligence, he knew how risky it was to become the champion. It meant facing challenges from all the other contestants. If Zhao Zheng really did that, in everyone's eyes, it would be practically suicide. Brother Zhao, calm down, Shen Nano hurriedly said, being the champion is too dangerous. Even if your strength is quite good, you can't possibly last, yet. Brother Zhao, the champion has to accept challenges from all the participants. This is simply an impossible task. Brother Zhao, don't be impulsive. One defeat is nothing. At worst, you can fight again in the 4th level of the spirit realm. With your and Sister Haitang's strength, it's not difficult to get an SSS level mission evaluation again. Everyone tried to persuade him. The idea of becoming the champion was just too crazy. Seeing this, Zhao Zheng's face darkened, and he snorted coldly, You guys don't trust me that much? Or are you afraid that if I lose, I'll reset the team's points to 0? We didn't mean that, Zhang Hebin hurriedly explained. These few points were earned by you and Sister Haitang. If they're reset to 0, so be it. We're just afraid that something might happen to you and you won't be able to go back. Suddenly, Chen Kai spoke up. Brother Zhao, I support you. Actually, Chen Kai and Zheng Hebin were older than Zhao Zheng and Song Haitang. They called him brother and sister because their performance had won them over. Hearing Chen Kai's words, everyone was surprised. Oh? Little Kai, you support me? Zhao Zheng laughed. Yes, Chen Kai didn't mind Zhao Zheng's address and explained, before coming to the third level of the spirit realm, I took a test. With my current strength, I know very well how much I can withstand after hardening. I was injured by that crocodile monster's tail before. Based on my deduction, the crocodile monster's strength attribute is at least 800 points, and Brother Zhao, you were able to grab its tail and throw it off the stage? At this point, Chen Kai looked at Zhao Zheng and asked, Brother Zhao, your strength attribute is already over 1000, right? Not bad, little Kai. Zhao Zheng laughed heartily and nodded in agreement. That's right, everyone was astonished. P.S. 9th update, one more to come. Update at 12 o'clock. Chapter 95, Zhao Zheng, the reigning champion, who dares to challenge him? Having received Zhao Zheng's direct confirmation, Chen Kai let out a heavy sigh of relief. My guess was indeed correct. Actually, it was still wrong. With a boost of super strength, Zhao Zheng's current strength attribute should be 3000. Zhao Zheng smiled and didn't correct Chen Kai. He looked at everyone and asked, do you have any other questions? Upon hearing this, Wang Fei immediately said, Brother Zhao, even if your strength attribute exceeds 1000, it's still very dangerous to defend the title. That three-eyed demon is too strong, and Sister Haitang's mental attribute has also exceeded 1000, but she still. Suzuki stepped on the boy's foot, making Wang Fei realize he had misspoke and finally shut up. This kid was not only simple-minded but also very straightforward. Zhao Zheng couldn't help but wonder if he had been influenced by the gum fruit, because Wang Luffy also had this kind of personality. What about you guys? Zhao Zheng asked. Do you think so too? Afraid Zhao Zheng would misunderstand, Zheng Hebin quickly said, Brother Zhao, we don't mean anything by it. We're just worried something might happen to you and you won't be able to come back. If you're really confident you can be the champion, we'll definitely support you. Okay, then your support is fine, Zhao Zheng said with a smile. I never do anything I'm not sure I can handle. The reason he needed everyone's consent was because the arena's rules stipulated that to become the champion, you needed the support of your teammates. After all, if you lost a battle, the entire team's points would be reset to 0. This affected the interests of the whole team. How could they let one person make a decision on their own? Seeing Zhao Zheng's words, everyone had no choice but to agree. They weren't really concerned about the points, they were afraid Zhao Zheng would stay in the spirit realm forever. What if they returned and found Zhao Zheng hadn't come back? Would Song Haitang go crazy then? Moreover, this was the amnesia spirit realm, no one knew what happened there. If Song Haitang started to overthink and thought they had done something wrong, that would be a real headache. I'm going to get some sleep to recharge from my title defense, Zhao Zheng said with a smile. Remember to wake me when it's time. The demon race's rest area was a forest. Many wooden cabins were scattered among the treetops. At this moment, in one of the cabins, the three-eyed demon, who had just eaten a human heart, suddenly showed annoyance and said, this kind of competition is too boring. From now on, I want to be the title holder and defend my title. I want to challenge everyone. Upon hearing this, the other demons in the cabin all showed surprised expressions. However, the three-eyed demon held considerable authority within the group, so it didn't need to waste words like Zhao Zheng. Whatever it said, the other demons could only agree. Therefore, the matter was settled. When Zhao Zheng was woken up by Song Haitang, only 2 minutes remained of the 10-hour rest period. Zhao Zheng stood up, stretched, and felt his whole body brimming with power. His condition had completely recovered to its peak. Not bad, he smiled confidently. A moment later, a teleportation channel appeared, and everyone stepped through it, returning to the arena. A notification appeared in the left eye of all the successfully advanced participants. The finals have officially begun. This finals consists of 2 modes, normal mode and defense mode. Normal mode, a normal competition where you defeat opponents one by one to determine the champion. The winning team gains 60 points. Defense mode, you can choose to become the champion and accept challenges from all participants. Each defeated participant earns 1 team point. The defense time is 60 minutes. Surviving 60 minutes without defeat results in victory and an additional 500 team points. If the champion is defeated or concedes, Their team's points will be reset to 0 and awarded to the winner. Note: defense mode is further divided into normal mode and deathmatch mode. In deathmatch mode, no participant can concede until death. Winning in deathmatch mode doubles the points. Caution: deathmatch mode is extremely dangerous. Please choose carefully. Hint: please make a choice within 60 seconds. If no one chooses the defense mode, it will automatically switch to the normal mode after 60 seconds. Seeing the prompt in his left eye, Zhao Zheng was slightly taken aback. He hadn't expected the defense mode to have a deathmatch option. Should he choose the deathmatch? If he chose the deathmatch and lured Three-Eyed down, he wouldn't have to worry about Three-Eyed surrendering and running away. Then he could avenge Song Haitang and vent his anger. Of course, there were still risks. If he couldn't beat Three-Eyed, he'd be finished. He only had 60 seconds to consider, and Zhao Zheng had to make a decision quickly. Can I win if I last 60 minutes? Zhao Zheng felt that with his steel body, even if there was someone he couldn't beat, he shouldn't be unable to last even an hour. Besides, the deathmatch mode doubled the points reward. Zhao Zheng was short of points right now. He was a man who wanted to become an ancestor. What was there to be afraid of? Thinking of this, he made his decision. Meanwhile, in the demon realm, the three-eyed creature, seeing the notification in its left eye, paused for a moment. Then, a bloodthirsty smile spread across its face. It was already dissatisfied with the forfeit and surrender rules of the elimination rounds. Deathmatch mode was exactly what it wanted. Just as the three-eyed creature was about to select deathmatch mode, it suddenly realized that someone had beaten it to it. A human named Zhao Zheng had chosen the defense mode first. And the opponent had also chosen the deathmatch mode it wanted. The three-eyed creature froze. Then, it burst into laughter. Ha ha ha! The third eye on its forehead seemed about to forcefully open due to excitement. At the same time, all 4,778 participants who had advanced received a notification that someone had chosen defense mode, and it was deathmatch mode, no less. Zhao Zheng? Who is this human? Is he insane? Deathmatch mode? Holy crap! Has this guy Zhao Zheng gone mad? I know him, he's Song Haitang's mistress. What's he planning? To die in the spirit realm? I admit he's strong, but this is a sure path to his demise. It's incomprehensible. In the human area, many of the advancing contestants were discussing amongst themselves. Soon, those who had already been eliminated also received the news from these people. The entire arena erupted in uproar. At this moment, the arena in the center began to change. 10 enormous arenas vanished. The next moment, rumble, a gigantic arena slowly rose in the very center of the arena. Its area was comparable to a football field. Seeing the huge defend the arena sign beside the giant arena, those who had previously been skeptical now believed it. And this gigantic arena would be Zhao Zheng's next battlefield. 10 chapters complete. I don't know how to respond to some of the comments from the experts. I'll try my best to revise them. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 96 Slaughter. Fist Bone Impact. 2 flags flank the giant arena. The flag on the left red defend the arena, while the flag on the right red deathmatch. Even before the deathmatch mode officially began, a heavy, chilling atmosphere had already spread throughout the arena. Zhao Zheng, upon seeing the words deathmatch, Song Haitang's pretty face could no longer maintain its composure. Although she had been eliminated and hadn't seen the notification from the spirit realm, her hearing was excellent. She had heard the discussions around her and knew what deathmatch mode was all about. They said there's no way out in deathmatch mode? Why did you choose this? The girl asked worriedly. Zhang Hebin and the others also looked at Zhao Zheng in disbelief. Because I promised President Song I would take care of you, Zhao Zheng said with a smile. Anyone who dares to hurt you, I'll definitely make them pay the price. I can't let them get away. Zhao Zheng. Song Haitang was moved, but also a little regretful. Earlier, I had helped her bandage her wounds in the lounge. Since Zhao Zheng wanted to see, I'd let him watch a little longer. Don't worry. If this were a gathering of top experts, I definitely wouldn't dare to be so suicidal. But we're all freshmen, and I believe that the person who could kill me wouldn't even be here. Choosing to fight to the death is also to scare the contestants in our human camp. I don't want to eliminate them all. As Zhao Zheng spoke, he stood up and said to everyone, I'm going to go on stage. You can all wait for me to come back." With that, his figure disappeared from the audience and appeared on the deathmatch stage. When the champion, Zhao Zheng, appeared, everyone's eyes were fixed on him. Human zone. Is it really him? Has this pretty boy gone mad? He doesn't need to do this to die. I'm not surprised he's acting stupid. After all, he'd give away the flame fruit. He must be out of his mind. What I'm wondering is, why would Song Haitang agree to let him go on stage? Yet, doesn't defending the title require the support of the entire team? Hell, maybe Song Haitang is already tired of him and wants a new favorite, so he's sending this idiot to his death. Can't you use your brain? His team's points are all on him now. Song Haitang doesn't even care about the points. Captain, shouldn't you strike first and kill him? I estimate Song Haitang's team has around 20 or 30 points. If we take him down, our ranking in the human zone will rise to first place. Don't rush. Since he dared to come up, he might have something. Let's see. Similar discussions arose in many teams. Those newly qualified strong individuals were eager to see Zhao Zheng. After all, Zhao Zheng's team must have accumulated a considerable number of points to have gotten this far. Once they defeat him, they will definitely be able to catch up with Victor, who is currently in first place. Even Victor himself is considering whether to defeat Zhao Zheng early to solidify his ranking. However, most of the human contestants ultimately chose to wait and see. Better safe than sorry. What if Zhao Zheng is hiding something? It would be very dangerous for them to go up there. Because in a death match, you can't admit defeat and withdraw. It's better to be cautious and observe first. Of course, people are different, and not everyone thinks this way. Some fools with large point gaps couldn't wait to jump out. They believe that Zhao Zheng's appearance is their only chance to catch up with the champion. Kyoto University team area. Brother Ma, look. Someone's going up, and quite a few of them. That green light is that strong seed from the Federation. Is he in such a hurry too? I know the guy in the kimono on the left. He's a famous freshman from Japan. He's also a troublesome guy. Brother Ma, they definitely want to defeat Zhao Zheng and challenge for the championship. Should we go up too? The last sentence came from a burly man. This man and Ma Jun were the only two remaining contestants in their team to advance. Upon hearing this, Ma Jun hesitated for a moment, then shook his head, saying, "We're all in the human camp, and we're all compatriots of Xia Kingdom. We can fight amongst ourselves, but killing each other in front of outsiders would only make us a laughingstock to those demons and monsters. Besides, I feel that Song Haitang's pretty boy is probably not so simple. Let's observe first." He was the captain. Since he had made his decision, the others had to respect it. Therefore, Ma Jun's team remained silent for the time being. On the arena. After Zhao Zheng went up, he didn't rush to provoke anyone, intending to see how many demons and monsters would come up. Unexpectedly, instead of demons and monsters, some humans eagerly rushed up, wanting to take his life. Zhao Zheng's face darkened, his heart filled with anger. There were outsiders right in front of him. Were they really in such a hurry? His gaze turned cold as he looked at the humans who rushed onto the arena. There were about 20 people on the stage. They were all unfamiliar faces, mostly white and black. Zhao Zheng vaguely recognized the skinny, short man on the left. He seemed to be a celebrity from the Philippines. The one glowing green was conspicuous, the Federation's rising star, Green Lantern. However, the one charging at the forefront was a guy in a kimono. Only one type of person wore that, Japanese pirates. Very good. Zhao Zheng's eyes grew even colder. Since these things wanted to die, he would grant their wish. The only thing that made him somewhat relieved was that none of the 20-odd people charging forward were from China. Watching the onrushing figures, Zhao Zheng made a move. Boom, a loud crash. Zhao Zheng raised his foot and stomped on the ground. Around his foot, the sturdy arena surface cracked inch by inch, spreading like a spider web. Such power startled the humans. The momentum of the 20-odd people charging forward came to an abrupt halt. This was the kind of intimidating effect Zhao Zheng wanted. Right now, he didn't want to fight these people, lest he expose his strength and scare away the other monsters. He wanted to lure the monsters down first. Especially that three-eyed one. Once there are enough participants, we'll slaughter them all in one go and earn enough points. You all stay put for a while, I'll kill you all later, Zhao Zheng said coldly. After saying this, his gaze swept towards the demon and monster sections. As for these 20-odd people, Zhao Zheng wasn't worried they'd run away at the first sign of trouble. Because once someone stepped onto the arena, They were a participant, not allowed to admit defeat or leave the arena. Then, under the gaze of everyone present, Zhao Zheng raised his hands, left hand towards the demon section, right hand towards the monster section, first giving a thumbs up. Everyone thought he was going to praise the demons and monsters. Unexpectedly, Zhao Zheng then flipped his wrists, his thumbs instantly pointing downwards. Good heavens! Everyone was stunned. Such a provocative act, though simple, was extremely effective. Because the occasion was different. In private, few demons and monsters would be fooled and angered. But now it was the arena, under the watchful eyes of everyone. Faced with Zhao Zheng's provocation, if the demons and monsters remained unmoved, they would truly lose all face. Instantly, the demon and monster zones erupted in chaos. Although they weren't human, they could still understand such a simple provocative gesture. Various strange roars and cries rang out, making the entire arena lively. Looking at the furious and indignant expressions of the monsters and demons, it seemed they wanted nothing more than to rush forward and tear Zhao Zheng to pieces. He's gone mad. This guy has completely lost it. What is he trying to do? Does he want to die a miserable death already? Maybe we misjudged him. He's actually a hidden powerhouse, confident in his strength. Even if he's a hidden powerhouse, isn't this just courting death? He's alone, how many attacks can he withstand? Good heavens! Regardless of his fate, at least I admire his courage. The human zone was abuzz with discussion. While they didn't understand Zhao Zheng's actions, they were impressed. Meanwhile, among the demons, one creature, however, was laughing heartily. It was the three-eyed one. Only it understood Zhao Zheng's thoughts. It even realized that Zhao Zheng was very similar to it, both craving killing. If it were defending the arena, it might do the same. On the arena, Zhao Zheng smiled as he saw the atmosphere had completely heated up. Using such a simple provocative gesture was a well-thought-out decision. After all, they were different races. If the provocation was too complicated, the demons and monsters might not understand it. His provocation of the demons and monsters wasn't arrogance. He wanted to make a killing, gain enough points to secure the overall championship of the three-race competition. To avoid being overtaken by others and losing the title. The defense mode lasted 3 hours. After he left the arena, the others would have 2 more chances. If he could only win the human region championship, the highest he could achieve would be an S-rank mission evaluation. He wanted an SSS rank mission evaluation. Then, Zhao Zheng's gaze searched the demon region and quickly found the three-eyed one. This guy was smiling at him. Seeing his irritating expression, Zhao Zheng smiled. The next moment, Zhao Zheng beckoned to the three-eyed man, signaling him to come up on stage. The three-eyed man was stunned for a moment, then burst into laughter, appearing extremely excited. Thump! A loud crash suddenly echoed from the arena. A one-eyed giant, 10 meters tall, leaped onto the stage. It was said that this one-eyed giant was a descendant of a certain monster king. As soon as the giant stepped onto the stage, his single eye, as large as a basketball, locked onto Zhao Zheng. His eyes were filled with killing intent. With this one-eyed giant leading the way, other monsters and demon race contestants also jumped into the arena. In no time, the arena was filled with thousands of demons and monsters. Those who could step onto the stage at this time were all qualified for the finals. Simply put, they were experts. Thousands of experts simultaneously chasing after one person. What a scene. Seeing this spectacle, the humans were all amazed, then silently mourned for Zhao Zheng. Many of the newly minted human powerhouses who were initially eager to participate abandoned their plans. Sister Haitang, what exactly is Brother Zhao trying to do? Brother Zhao wants to defend his position. Wouldn't it be better to play it safe? If he can hold out for an hour, he'll get 1,000 points, enough to win the championship. Why is Brother Zhao doing this? Zhang Hebin and the others asked one after another. The scene on the arena was simply too insane. One person fighting against thousands of powerhouses? They wouldn't even dare to be so bold in their wildest dreams. Song Haitang's gaze remained fixed on the arena. Hearing everyone's words, a hint of worry appeared on her pretty face. No matter what Zhao Zheng wants to do, we can only watch now. There's nothing we can do. Yes. They were all eliminated. Even if they wanted to go up and help, they couldn't. On the arena, Zhao Zheng was now surrounded entirely by demons and monsters. He was completely encircled. Even the 20-odd humans couldn't get a turn and were pushed to the outer perimeter. Facing thousands of angry gazes, Zhao Zheng remained completely calm. His gaze remained fixed on the three-eyed demon, waiting for it to step onto the stage. The three-eyed demon seemed to understand Zhao Zheng's intentions. After a moment's thought, it smiled slightly and stood up. Then, it took a step forward and easily leaped onto the arena. Seeing this, Zhao Zheng finally revealed a ferocious smile. "You damn thing, now that you're on stage, you can't escape." Once the three-eyed demon was on stage, the demons surrounding Zhao Zheng automatically parted to make way. Some strange figures, intimidated by the three-eyed demon's aura, also stepped aside, revealing Zhao Zheng. Then, the three-eyed demon faced Zhao Zheng, uttering a phrase in demon language. Zhao Zheng, of course, didn't understand demon language. However, in the spiritual realm, he miraculously understood it. "You've been wanting me to appear, you want to challenge me," that was the meaning behind the three-eyed demon's words. "No. I want to kill you." That was Zhao Zheng's thought. But now, he had no interest in exchanging words with a three-eyed demon. Now that all the prey had arrived, Zhao Zheng saw no need to continue his pretense. He slightly bent his knees, assuming a stance of gathering power. The next moment, boom, the earth shattered. The entire arena trembled. The platform, spanning 100 meters in radius, cracked open. A massive crater appeared in the very center. Many monsters surrounding the arena were injured. And this was merely the effect of Zhao Zheng's jump. Propelled by the immense recoil, Zhao Zheng's body shot into the sky like a rocket. Keen-eyed spectators could see that his fists had turned completely black. This was armament haki. As Zhao Zheng descended several hundred meters into the air, his black right fist gleamed with crimson light. His fist was charging, ready to strike. An unprecedentedly terrifying aura emanated from Zhao Zheng, enveloping the entire arena. At this moment, everyone felt the pressure of a top-tier expert emanating from Zhao Zheng. Simultaneously, everyone had a premonition that an unprecedentedly terrifying attack was about to descend. The entire audience was stunned. Chapter 97 This punch, annihilation. As Zhao Zheng swooped down from the sky, the first to feel his terrifying aura were the people on the arena. The overwhelming pressure, like Mount Tai, was suffocating. Everyone involved in the deathmatch paled. They all looked up at the figure descending from the sky, their faces filled with disbelief. Even the three-eyed man was utterly shocked. Then, all the monsters and demons scattered with all their might, trying to escape to the edge of the arena. Unfortunately, it was too late. Die! A loud shout came from the sky, echoing throughout the entire arena. The next moment, a crimson fist shadow, like a meteor, plummeted down, slamming heavily onto the arena. Boom! An unprecedented explosion occurred. It was as if a Dongfeng ballistic missile had detonated on the arena. The entire arena trembled. The intense light from the explosion was dazzling, instantly forming a gigantic spectacle, like the blazing sun. The blinding light pollution nearly dazzled everyone in the audience. When the bright light disappeared, a terrifying shockwave erupted, rapidly spreading in all directions. Crack! Crack! This was the mournful cry of the giant arena. Under the violent shockwave, countless solid floor tiles were ripped away. The monsters, demons, and more than 20 humans couldn't withstand even a moment's impact, instantly turning to ashes. Blood splattered everywhere, and bits of flesh flew wildly. Together with the arena tiles, they created a scene of apocalyptic carnage. Some spectators noticed that the Green Lantern, a rising star from the Federation, had managed to create a green shield around himself using his superpowers. Unfortunately, under the terrifying shockwave, he only lasted a short while longer than the others before the shield shattered, and he perished. The Green Lantern ring's strength is determined by the user's will. The Federation's freshmen currently lacked sufficient willpower. The violent shockwave lingered on the arena for quite some time before dissipating. When the dust settled, the arena was a scene of utter devastation. Limbs and blood were everywhere, a veritable hell on earth. Even the arena itself was in no better shape. A massive crater, nearly 100 meters in diameter, had appeared in its center. The surrounding paving stones were completely gone, revealing the earthen structure beneath the arena. The enormous arena was completely destroyed, not a single spot was intact. This was no longer a martial arts arena, it was more like a battlefield ravaged by artillery fire. Thump! At that moment, a figure descended from the sky, landing beside the crater. It was Zhao Zheng. He appeared completely unharmed, his condition still impeccable. To be honest, even he was astonished by the damage his full-force punch had caused. The last time he tested fist-bone impact was outside Zhenhui University, when his attributes had just broken 600. He hadn't used his full strength then. But now, with a boost from super strength, his true attributes had reached 3,000. The power was more than 5 times greater. Zhao Zheng was extremely satisfied with the effect of his punch. He had killed more than half of the thousands of contestants with a single blow. Of course, it was still far from the power of Garp himself, who could destroy a town with a single punch. While Zhao Zheng was reflecting on his actions, in the audience, many eliminated contestants stood with their mouths agape, eyes wide, expressions blank. They had remained like this for some time. The entire arena was silent. Everyone was deeply shocked by the destruction caused by Zhao Zheng's punch. They simply couldn't believe that a freshman could unleash such destructive power. This was supposed to be a freshman? Was it some veteran powerhouse who had infiltrated? They were supposed to be freshmen, so why was he so exceptionally powerful? The human section was particularly stunned. Everyone had heard of Zhao Zheng, more or less, knowing he was the kept man of Song Haitang, the #1 freshman. Initially, in everyone's eyes, Zhao Zheng was a useless talent. It was only through the long elimination rounds, with Zhao Zheng consistently advancing, that people's impression of him began to change. However, at most, he'd be considered a top-tier newcomer, far from being among the absolute elite. But, holy crap! This is way too overpowered. So that bastard was just pretending all along? Now that he's finally revealed his strength, it's truly shocked everyone. Damn it, pay up. Many people still can't believe their eyes, thinking they're hallucinating. I know. Suddenly, a human newcomer spoke up, startling those around him. His teammate immediately asked, "Brother Ma, what do you know?" "I know. Why is it that even though we both have Logia-type Devil Fruit abilities, Song Haitang was able to get SSS level mission ratings twice in a row, while my Devil Fruit ability is clearly stronger than hers? I can't even get an S level mission rating," Ma Jun said, his gaze fixed on Zhao Zheng on the arena. "It's all because of him. Only he could kill so many monsters in the spirit realm. We've all been fooled. He's not some useless pretty boy at all. He's the real hidden big boss." Everyone suddenly realized. It seemed that was indeed the case. Following this line of thought, Song Haitang's ability to consistently achieve SSS level mission ratings becomes more plausible. "Brother Ma, this little white guy is clearly so strong. Why does he hide behind the scenes and willingly accept the label of trash?" a teammate asked. Before Ma Jun could answer, another teammate said, "Are you an idiot? He's hiding himself to monopolize his talent. Don't forget, the Holy Land operates on a breeding ground model. When a superhuman reaches a certain level of power, their talent will no longer appear in the Holy Land. This guy is a real sly one," Ma Jun said. "Luckily I was smart enough not to go on stage." Upon hearing this, the burly man next to him broke out in a cold sweat. Yes. If they were on the stage now, they'd probably be reduced to ashes. "Brother Ma is brilliant," the burly man said. "That bastard." Ma Jun gritted his teeth, staring at Zhao Zheng's figure. So he was the top freshman. He made me doubt myself all this time, wondering why I wasn't as good as Song Haitang. His teammate murmured, "Brother Ma, even if you know now, it's useless. Don't forget, this is the amnesia spirit realm. Once we get out, we won't remember anything." Ma Jun was stunned. Then his face darkened. He wanted to say something, but in the end, he only managed to utter one word, "Damn it." In the other seating areas, there was also a lot of discussion. Those freshmen who had originally planned to participate were now sweating profusely, filled with lingering fear. Just look at the fate of that Green Lantern from the Federation. Everyone wasn't stupid. They all understood now that in the Zhao Zheng and Song Haitang combination, Zhao Zheng was the main force, the true king. Song Haitang's SSS level mission rating was probably all thanks to that guy. Isn't this guy a bit too overpowered, yet? Is Kryptonian blood really that powerful? As far as I know, that Kryptonian in South Korea tried everything, but he's still a useless piece of trash. It's probably not just because of his Kryptonian bloodline. That guy just used armament hacking, and at a very high level. Also, that punch that came down from the sky seems more like a supernatural skill. Zhao Zheng's performance made everyone feel like they had discovered a huge secret, and they were eager to share it. At this moment, almost everyone was discussing it. Except for Song Haitang's team. Seeing Zhao Zheng, like a war god, use a punch that came down from the sky to shatter thousands of experts, Zhang Heben, Chen Kai, and the others were completely dumbfounded. Brother Zhao is too fierce. After they came to their senses, they realized that the real king was Zhao Zheng, and Song Haitang was just an accessory on the big boss's leg. Of course, even if they knew this, they didn't dare to say it out loud. After all, Song Haitang was right there. They didn't dare. Someone dares to do that, Wang Fei said. So, in the first 2 levels of the spirit realm, the SSS level mission rating was actually thanks to Brother Zhao, he continued. I knew it. Even if Sister Haitang is strong, she couldn't possibly carry just one person. Oops. Nana, you stepped on me, good heavens. No wonder she's Wang Lufei's successor. Her brain is hopeless. Everyone looked at Song Haitang somewhat embarrassedly. Song Haitang, however, had a smile on her face, even showing a relieved expression. That's right. In the first 2 levels of the spirit realm, I was able to get an SSS level mission rating entirely thanks to Zhao Zheng, the girl said frankly. Although she didn't remember what happened in the first level of the spirit realm, she could figure out with her big brain that Zhao Zheng must have carried her. Zhao Zheng wanted to stay behind the scenes for the time being, so he pushed me to the forefront, everyone suddenly realized. Seeing that Song Haitang was open about it and didn't care at all, the others relaxed. Zhang Heaven immediately laughed. No wonder Brother Zhao insisted on becoming the champion. If I had that strength, I would dare to be one too. We were just looking down on him, not knowing our own limitations. Brother Zhao is really too strong, Zhou Junji exclaimed in admiration. This statement received unanimous agreement from everyone. Suddenly, Song Haitang's pretty face turned serious as she looked towards the arena. Seeing this, everyone knew that Song Haitang must have discovered something, and they quickly followed her gaze towards the arena. On the arena, Zhao Zheng had been observing, judging which of the people lying on the ground were truly dead and which were feigning death. Although his perception was not as sharp as Song Haitang's, it was still quite keen. Those who were feigning death could not escape his notice. Suddenly, Zhao Zheng's gaze fell on a pile of corpses, and a faint smile appeared on his face. 3 Eyes, how long do you plan to lie there? Or do I have to pull you up? As soon as he finished speaking, the pile of corpses moved. A figure stood up from among the corpses. It was 3 Eyes. However, 3 Eyes looked rather disheveled. Its clothes were almost entirely torn, and its exposed body was covered in numerous wounds, some still bleeding brown blood. This was only because it had managed to dodge quickly. If it had taken Zhao Zheng's attack head-on, it would likely have been instantly obliterated. After getting up, 3 Eyes stared intently at Zhao Zheng. Its previous composure vanished once again. Chapter 98 Opening the Heavenly Eye? Do you think you're Erlang Shen? 3 Eyes was furious. His eyes were filled with fighting spirit, and his third eye on his forehead showed signs of opening. However, in Zhao Zheng's eyes, this guy was just putting on a brave front. Why are your hands trembling? Zhao Zheng said with a smile. What? Are you afraid of me? 3 Eyes was indeed a little scared. If he weren't afraid of death, he wouldn't have been hiding in the pile of corpses pretending to be dead, trying to buy time. If he could hold out for 60 minutes, he could survive. Now that Zhao Zheng had seen through him, 3 Eyes was furious. At the same time, he was also very puzzled, not understanding why there was such a terrifying being among the new humans. He thought he was already beyond the limit. Unexpectedly, there was someone even more beyond the limit. That punch was truly terrifying. The most important thing now was how to survive for 50 minutes under this human's attack. As long as he returned alive, there was still a chance to start over. While pondering a countermeasure, 3 Eyes rattled off a string of words. You brought me to the arena before, to fight a master like me, right? I hope you won't use that kind of move again, so I can unleash all my skills. If I still lose in the end and die at the hands of a strong man like you, I'll be satisfied. Hearing this, Zhao Zheng couldn't help but laugh. Looks like your memory isn't very good. His smile vanished, and he asked, do you remember the girl you injured before? 3 Eyes was taken aback. The one who uses fire abilities. That's right. She's my woman, Zhao Zheng said coldly. I lured you down here for only one purpose, to kill you. As soon as he finished speaking, Zhao Zheng suddenly moved. Crack, the ground cracked under his foot. He pounced on 3 Eyes like a ferocious tyrannosaurus. Halfway there, armament haki had already covered his body. 3 Eyes' expression changed drastically. He immediately focused all his attention on dealing with the attack. Judging from Zhao Zheng's imposing aura, he truly intended to kill it. It clasped its hands together and roared. A ki blast shot out from between its palms, instantly striking the approaching Zhao Zheng. Bang! A dull impact rang out. The ki blast that could instantly injure Song Haitang had no effect on Zhao Zheng. Zhao Zheng merely paused slightly, then approached again as if nothing had happened. With his steel body and armament haki, his defense was truly maxed out. Seeing this, Three-Eyed's expression changed again, and it quickly retreated. Zhao Zheng followed unhurriedly. He always felt this guy was a cunning schemer, definitely hiding some tricks, so he remained vigilant towards Three-Eyed. Seeing Three-Eyed trying to create distance, Zhao Zheng immediately threw a punch. Bang! Fistbone impact. Using fistbone impact requires at least 2 seconds of charging time. This was a minor drawback of fistbone impact. While the power of the fist wind impact couldn't compare to the fistbone impact, it required no charging and could be launched instantly, making it very convenient. A huge, phantom fist instantly appeared. Like a missile, it tore through the void and struck Three-Eyed. Instantly, Three-Eyed was sent flying backward, crashing heavily to the ground. Had it not been for its protective ki, this blow would have been fatal. PFFT, upon landing, Three-Eyed immediately spat out a mouthful of brown blood, looking utterly defeated. It appeared to be seriously injured. Seeing this, Zhao Zheng merely smiled, not pressing his advantage, and continued to approach at a leisurely pace. He guessed that Three-Eyed was deliberately feigning injury, trying to ambush him. Sure enough, as Zhao Zheng approached again, Three-Eyed suddenly raised its palms in front of it and shouted, "Flash Fist!" A blinding light erupted from Three-Eyed, momentarily blinding Zhao Zheng. The next moment, thud, a muffled, thunderous impact resounded. The Three-Eyed demon had somehow approached Zhao Zheng and struck him squarely in the chest. This strike possessed the power to split mountains and shatter rocks, and contained terrifying internal energy. Once, a demon with invincible defense had its heart meridian shattered by the single blow, dying instantly. Later, an autopsy revealed that while the demon's exterior was unharmed, its internal organs were completely ruptured. Seeing that it had struck Zhao Zheng, the Three-Eyed demon's face lit up with joy. However, its joy was short-lived. A large hand grabbed its arm. "This is your trump card that you've been hiding all this time." Zhao Zheng's voice was unusually cold and oppressive. "If that's the case, then you can die." As soon as he finished speaking, his hand tightened its grip. Crack! The Three-Eyed demon's arm bone snapped instantly. The demon let out a miserable scream. However, the Three-Eyed demon was also a ruthless demon. When it realized it couldn't break free from Zhao Zheng's grasp, it actually used its left hand to unleash a ki slash, directly slashing at its own right arm. PFFT, the right arm severed, brown blood splattering. The Three-Eyed creature endured the excruciating pain, quickly retreating and putting distance between itself and Zhao Zheng once more. It stared intently at Zhao Zheng, its expression filled with bewilderment. It had seen that black substance, armament haki, before, knowing it was something that could enhance defense. However, wasn't that stuff only for hardening the surface of the body? Why was its palm strike ineffective against Zhao Zheng's internal organs? The Three-Eyed creature had no idea. Zhao Zheng's true defensive method was Iron Body. Iron Body, as the name suggests, meant the entire body was as hard as steel. Not just the surface, but also the internal organs. Superman, in his adult form, could survive in space. How could he do that without a powerful physique? Looking at the severed arm in its hand, Zhao Zheng was stunned. He hadn't expected the Three-Eyed creature to be so ruthless, daring to cut off even its own arm. But what was the point of doing that? It didn't think it could survive after losing an arm, did it? It casually tossed the severed arm aside. Zhao Zheng's gaze returned to the Three-Eyed creature. Then, he clenched his fist, assuming a charging stance. Crimson light flickered on his iron fist. Yes. He was about to use his ultimate move, Fistbone Impact, to instantly kill the Three-Eyed creature. He hadn't used it before because he knew the Three-Eyed creature was fast enough to dodge. Now, the Three-Eyed creature was covered in wounds and had lost an arm, its mobility greatly reduced, it probably couldn't dodge. Seeing Zhao Zheng's stance, the Three-Eyed creature was terrified. That attack, if it hit, would instantly kill it. It knew it couldn't hold back any longer. If it didn't use its final ultimate move, it might never have another chance. So, before Zhao Zheng could throw a punch, its third eye on its forehead suddenly opened. It was an extremely terrifying eye. The entire eyeball was black, but the pupil in the center was incomparably scarlet, flashing with an eerie light. The moment the third eye opened, Zhao Zheng felt an invisible force acting on him. Huh? Zhao Zheng was surprised to find that he couldn't move. He remained in his punching stance, but could no longer move. He couldn't even move a finger. It was as if that invisible force had completely imprisoned him. The only part of his body he could move was his eyeballs. Zhao Zheng immediately looked at the three-eyed man, not expecting that this guy would have such a bizarre move. However, the three-eyed man's condition at this moment looked terrible. Blood was flowing from all 7 orifices. Especially from his eyes, which were flowing out brown blood tears. The three-eyed man's face was deathly pale, like a dead man. Suddenly, the three-eyed man shouted, "What are you waiting for? I can't hold on for long, hurry up and kill this human monster now. If he doesn't die, we will all die." Although the three-eyed man spoke in the demon language, the spirit realm had a built-in translation function, and any intelligent race could communicate. As the three-eyed man's voice fell on the arena, many corpses suddenly began to rise from the dead and move. They quickly pounced on Zhao Zheng, unleashing a barrage of attacks. The three-eyed monster was right. If they didn't kill this monster guarding the arena now, they would all die. Thump, thump, thump. Huge footsteps suddenly echoed rapidly. It was the Cyclops monster, over 10 meters tall, running across the arena. The Cyclops was enormous and incredibly heavy. With each step, the arena trembled. Soon, the Cyclops approached Zhao Zheng. Then, the monster leaped into the air, its massive body soaring into the sky before plummeting down like a mountain, crashing down on Zhao Zheng. The surrounding demons and monsters, sensing the shadow overhead, scattered in terror. Boom! The Cyclops' multi-pressing down attack was incredibly powerful. Another deep crater appeared on the arena. It stood in the crater. As for Zhao Zheng, he had vanished without a trace. Because it was blasted into the ground, even the three-eyed one was sent flying backward again, coughing up blood upon landing and unable to get up. Using its eye of the four, it had taken a huge toll on it and had serious side effects. Now, the three-eyed one was nearing its end. Ignoring its own body, it strained to look towards the Cyclops, hoping that the giant's attack had killed Zhao Zheng. Otherwise, they would all be finished. In the stands, countless spectators were shocked by this turn of events. No one had expected the three-eyed one to possess such a bizarre ability. It could even immobilize a monster as strong as Zhao Zheng. Seeing the Cyclops use its mountain slamming technique to completely slam Zhao Zheng into the arena and into the ground, countless monsters cheered. There were also expressions of joy on the demon race's side. Only the human race remained relatively silent. Although most people weren't familiar with Zhao Zheng, as fellow humans, they still hoped he would win. Brother Zhao Zheng had been cried out in alarm, his face filled with terror. Not only him, but Chen Kai and the others were all terrified. They had clearly seen that Zhao Zheng had taken the Cyclops' ultimate attack squarely. If it were them, they would probably be minced meat by now. Even Chen Kai, who could turn to steel, knew he absolutely couldn't withstand it. Because that Cyclops was at least several tons in size. Falling from such a height, even real steel would be destroyed. Song Haitang, ignoring her injured shoulder, immediately stood up from her seat. The girl's pretty face was full of worry. She wished she could rush onto the stage. Unfortunately, they had long since lost their chance to compete. P.S. 10,000 word guaranteed update complete. Some readers have asked about bonus chapters. Bonus chapters for subscriptions will start tomorrow. I'm feeling a bit down today. Also, the monthly vote increase is currently 160, and I need 40 more for bonus chapters. Please, kind readers, lend a hand and let me write more chapters. Chapter 99, Grand Champion of the Three Races Martial Arts Tournament. 30 seconds passed, then 60 seconds. A full 2 minutes had passed, and there was still no movement from underground. The surviving contestants on the arena breathed a heavy sigh of relief. That human monster must be dead, right? Even if it was alive before, being buried underground for so long, it would have suffocated. Thinking of this, many demons and monsters immediately relaxed and sat down on the ground. Their faces showed a sense of relief at surviving a disaster. That human monster was truly terrifying, excessively strong. At this moment, a demon came to the side of Three-Eyed. Holy Sun, we won. The Holy Sun it spoke of did not refer to the offspring of a saint, but rather the son of a demon saint. At this moment, Three-Eyed was covered in blood, his face as white as paper, and he had lost an arm, lying paralyzed on the ground, unable to move. In such a terrible state, one wondered if he would be killed off at any moment. However, demons have strong vitality. Three-Eyed looked miserable, and indeed, he was in a terrible state, but death was not so easy for him. Hearing its companion's words, its face showed no joy, only despair. "You really think we've won?" Cough cough, the three-eyed creature could barely speak, its words broken and fragmented. Using its third eye prematurely had caused severe side effects. The demon was startled. That monster, wasn't it already dead? It glanced at the Cyclops with unease. Still no movement. The demon felt slightly relieved, then raised its hand and began healing the three-eyed creature. Time isn't allowed in the forbidden area. With its companion's healing, the three-eyed creature spoke more clearly. Cough cough, if he really is dead, why are we still on the arena and haven't received any notification? The forbidden area it referred to was naturally the spirit realm, albeit with a different terminology than the humans. Upon hearing this, the demon was horrified. Yes, time wouldn't be wasted in the forbidden area. As seen in the previous elimination rounds, basically, as soon as a contestant was eliminated, a new one had to take their place. The demon race member hurriedly looked towards the Cyclops, praying that the human monster buried beneath would die quickly. Unfortunately, what you fear most often comes to pass. The demon race member clearly saw the Cyclops' expression suddenly change. Then, its single eye revealed an expression of extreme pain. AOW, a blood-curdling scream echoed throughout the arena. It was the Cyclops' final scream. The next moment, bang, its massive body suddenly exploded. Dark green blood and bits of flesh splattered everywhere, turning the surrounding area within 100 meters completely green. The three-eyed demon and the others in the distance were also covered in it. The green blood emitted a stench that was nauseating. However, at this moment, they couldn't care less about that. Their eyes were fixed on the giant pit. The other surviving contestants were also attracted by the commotion and looked over in terror. Not long after, a figure, carrying a suffocating sense of oppression, slowly emerged from the giant pit. Like a demon king descended from hell. Upon seeing that figure, all the contestants were filled with deep fear. An aura of despair instantly enveloped the entire arena. At that moment, a single thought simultaneously crossed their minds: we're doomed. Zhao Zheng appeared completely unharmed. This was the main reason for the despair among the contestants. In their eyes, Zhao Zheng was an absolute demon king. Not only was his strength terrifying, but his defense was also incredibly formidable. He was practically an immortal monster. In fact, the Cyclops' attack had still caused Zhao Zheng considerable discomfort. Otherwise, he wouldn't have remained underground for 2 or 3 minutes before recovering. This unexpected event served as a wake-up call for Zhao Zheng. His Superman physique was indeed impressive, able to withstand even such an attack. However, he wasn't completely invincible yet. He still needed to be cautious and couldn't afford to be reckless. Zhao Zheng's gaze swept around the room, finally settling on the three-eyed giant. "Having fun just now," he said calmly. "Three-eyed, judging from your appearance, you can't get up anymore? Then this game is about to end." Three-eyed didn't speak, because its heart was already dead. Deathmatch mode has no option to concede or quit. And now, only a dozen minutes had passed since Zhao Zheng defended his position. There were still more than 40 minutes left. Enough time for Zhao Zheng to kill them 800 times over. Bang! A loud explosion. Three-eyed and the demons around it were instantly torn to pieces, dead beyond any doubt. It was Zhao Zheng who made the move, blowing them up with a single blow. Seeing this scene, the surviving demons and monsters around them finally woke up from their daze. Then, they scattered in terror. Some stood still and closed their eyes to await death, and some even knelt down and begged for mercy, disregarding their dignity. Not one of them chose to resist. This was because Zhao Zheng's ferocious performance had completely robbed these demons and monsters of the courage to resist. Faced with the different choices of these contestants, Zhao Zheng always treated everyone equally. Kill them all. Beg for mercy? When the three eyes fixed on Zhao Zheng, those guys were all going all out. Now they know to beg for mercy. It's too late. As for running away? Are you kidding? Zhao Zheng's agility attribute is over 1,000. Who can outrun Zhao Zheng? Besides, the arena is only so big. Where do they plan to run to? Next, it was time for a massacre. In less than 10 minutes, Zhao Zheng had killed all the survivors. This was after he finished off the relatively intact corpses to prevent anyone from feigning death, buying some time. Believe it or not, there really was one old man who had been feigning death all this time. Unfortunately, in front of Zhao Zheng, such low-level tactics were completely useless. At this moment, the entire arena had completely become a hellish inferno. Everywhere were dismembered corpses, mixed with blood of different colors, looking incredibly gruesome. The thick stench of blood could even be smelled by the contestants in the audience. Countless spectators trembled with fear. The only surviving and unharmed contestant on the stage was Zhao Zheng. He remained the reigning champion, unchallenged. With over half an hour left before his turn to defend the title, Zhao Zheng, finding himself with nothing better to do, glanced towards the audience. Then, he waved to the demon and monster sections, flashing a friendly smile. It was as if he were saying to the remaining contestants, "I'm bored, come play with me." Unfortunately, no one responded. Many contestants didn't even have the courage to meet Zhao Zheng's gaze, let alone respond. As for Zhao Zheng's supposedly friendly smile, in the eyes of those contestants, it was nothing short of a devil's smile. Seeing this, Zhao Zheng helplessly pursed his lips and could only find a clean spot to sit and wait for his turn to end. Half an hour later, the first round of defending the title was over. Immediately, Zhao Zheng's figure vanished from the stage. The arena instantly returned to its original state. The mountain of corpses and sea of blood vanished, the giant crater created by Zhao Zheng's punch was filled in, and all traces of the battle disappeared, restoring it to a completely new state. In the human area, on the leaderboard, Song Haitang's team's points instantly soared to 3,458. First place. The defending mode rewards 500 base points for a successful defense, plus the 1,000 plus points contributed by over 1,000 challengers, resulting in a very high total score. Zhao Zheng's choice of a deathmatch doubled the points. Therefore, he ultimately helped his team secure over 3,000 points. Victor's team, in second place, didn't even have 100 points. Of course, Victor could follow Zhao Zheng's example and become the champion in the second round of defending mode. But would he dare? Everyone had witnessed the carnage Zhao Zheng had created as champion, and fear was palpable. No one dared to play like that. Sigh. Looks like they've gotten an SSS level mission evaluation again, someone in the audience sighed. Indeed. With so many points, the result was no longer in doubt. Zhao Zheng was definitely the overall champion of the three races tournament. Everyone was envious, but few were jealous. Because everyone clearly saw that he deserved it. Not convinced? Try defending the arena yourself, 1 against 1,000. When Zhao Zheng returned to the team, he was immediately treated like a king. Brother Zhao, you're too awesome. Brother Zhao is mighty. Brother Zhao is number 1. Ha ha ha, we're number 1, and a clear number 1, far surpassing second place. So, this is how you get an SSS level mission evaluation. Following Brother Zhao into the spirit realm feels amazing. I still feel like I'm hallucinating, like I'm dreaming. Everyone cheered, surrounding Zhao Zheng. Excitement. Thrill. These words couldn't describe the feelings of Zhang Hebin and the others. The surrounding teams looked on with envy. Only Song Haitang stood silently to the side. A happy smile graced the girl's pretty face. However, having been carried by Zhao Zheng before, she was somewhat immune to this kind of situation, and coupled with her aloof nature, she didn't seem as excited as Chen Kai and the others. Calm down, everyone calm down. Looking at the excited crowd, Zhao Zheng smiled and said, "For me, this is just basic operation, don't get too excited." Hearing this, everyone was stunned. Song Haitang, however, smiled happily. She liked Zhao Zheng's confident demeanor. After a long while, everyone calmed down and returned to their seats. Zhao Zheng did the same. As soon as he sat down, he prepared to take out the extraordinary treasure chest given by the second level of the spirit realm. He couldn't forget this. Because Zhao Zheng didn't know if the extraordinary treasure chest would be swallowed up by the spirit realm if he hadn't claimed it before leaving. He moved his mind. Instantly, ripples appeared in the space in front of him, and then a golden box appeared out of thin air, floating in front of Zhao Zheng. Except for Song Haitang, everyone who saw this scene was stunned. "Brother Zhao, what is this?" Wang Fei asked directly. Zhang Hebin had a sudden inspiration and immediately said, "I know. This must be the extraordinary treasure chest that Brother Zhao rewarded me with in the second level of the spiritual realm, right?" "Yes," Zhao Zheng nodded with a smile. Everyone was stunned for a moment, then felt it was only natural. Extraordinary treasure chests are given to the main force. And Brother Zhao is a main force, isn't he? Zhao Zheng didn't care about the gazes of the crowd. He held the golden chest in his hand with anticipation and opened it directly. Then, he was stunned. Inside the treasure chest was a pair of glasses. Zhao Zheng reached out to take them, and the moment his fingers touched the glasses, a prompt appeared in his left eye. Extraordinary item, mysterious glasses, glasses worn by a certain god of the mortal realm when he was a reporter. They have a mysterious disguise effect. As long as you wear them, you can become another person. Prompt: these glasses are protected by a mysterious power and cannot be damaged. They can be used as protective gear to protect the wearer's eyes. After wearing them, they can prevent strong light from irritating the eyes, directly change the wearer's appearance, and conceal the wearer's aura, making the wearer look like an ordinary person. Seeing the prompt, Zhao Zheng was completely dumbfounded. Damn! They're actually Superman's special glasses? This can be considered a supernatural item in the spirit realm? Because he has Superman's physique, the spirit realm gave him Superman-related items? Good heavens! Following this analysis, will we see Superman's bodysuit and cape later? Zhao Zheng only wants Superman's physique, not to wear his underwear on the outside and be seen as a pervert. Brother Zhao, are these glasses a supernatural item? What kind of supernatural effects do they have? Wang Fei asked curiously. The others were also curious about the glasses in Zhao Zheng's hands. Seeing that Wang Fei, this idiot, had asked a question, they all looked at Zhao Zheng. Zhao Zheng didn't hide anything. Anyway, everyone would lose their memories after leaving the spirit realm. He didn't explain and directly put on the glasses. Instantly, in everyone's eyes, their brother Zhao immediately changed. Originally, Zhao Zheng had handsome features and exuded a powerful aura after his dominant performance on the stage, clearly a formidable opponent. But after putting on the glasses, he was a completely different person. Although his features remained largely unchanged, he now appeared refined and cultured, like a seasoned professional. His powerful aura vanished, making him seem like an ordinary person. Everyone was astonished. Even Song Haitang's pretty face was filled with surprise. What? Do I look drastically different? Zhao Zheng asked with a smile. Brother Zhao, your change is more than just drastic, it's like you've become a completely different person, Zhang Hebben exclaimed in surprise. If we hadn't seen you wearing glasses, we would have thought you'd been switched. The others nodded in agreement. Oh, Zhao Zheng was somewhat surprised. Back on Earth, when he watched the Superman movies, he thought the scene where Superman wore glasses and pretended to be a reporter was ridiculous. Now it seemed Superman's glasses were indeed something else. The effect seemed unexpectedly good. Otherwise, everyone wouldn't have been so surprised. Brother Zhao, why don't you take off your glasses? Chen Kai couldn't help but say, the contrast between you now and then is too great, it's a bit creepy. Everyone nodded again. Zhao Zheng readily complied and smiled as he took off his glasses. Instantly, he regained his previous aura of a domineering leader. Brother Zhao, like this looks much safer, Shen Nana said with a smile. 4,000 words. Just a few more monthly votes needed. Chapter 100 Super Announcement. Overwhelming the contemporary genius. Since no one stepped forward to become the new champion, the defending champion mode was hastily terminated. This also meant that the martial arts competition ended prematurely. The reason it didn't switch to the regular competition mode was because Zhao Zheng had already been a champion, and had killed so many participants, accumulating so many points. Continuing the competition, no one else could surpass him. After the competition ended, a notification appeared simultaneously in the left eyes of all participants. Please note, this spiritual realm has ended. You will be teleported back in 60 seconds. 59, 58, 57. Seeing the countdown, everyone sighed. Compared to the 10 hours of the second spiritual realm, the time consumed in the third spiritual realm was truly quite long. Including rest time, the total time was approximately 80 hours. This was even with Zhao Zheng choosing the defending champion mode, which sped up the progress. If no one had chosen the defending champion mode from the beginning, thus entering the regular competition mode, the competition would likely have continued, and the total time would definitely have exceeded 100 hours. Seeing that he was about to be teleported back, Zhao Zheng stuffed his glasses into his pants pocket. Anyway, this thing can't be broken. He had just tried, and even with his current strength, he couldn't deform the glasses in the slightest. In the amnesiac realm, you can't bring items out, besides your own clothes, nothing else can be taken out. However, extraordinary items obtained within the realm are not subject to this restriction. At this moment, Zhang Hebben suddenly stood up and said, Brother Zhao, Sister Haitang, I want to express my gratitude to you both. Thank you, no need to be so polite now. Zhao Zheng waved his hand and said, you'll still thank us when we get out. That's different, Zhang Hebben said. Once we get out, we'll all lose our memories. Knowing my personality, although I'll be grateful to you too, I don't know how much of it will be genuine. This kid is honest, and he understands himself well. Seemingly aware of the limited time, Zhang Hebben quickened his pace. Besides, I've always had some misunderstandings about you, Brother Zhao. After we leave, I might only thank Sister Haitang. I originally thought this was just a regular competition among freshmen, and we could just coast along with you guys. Unexpectedly, the result depends on the entire team's total points, and ranking based on points means we're the ones dragging you down. Although we ultimately won the 3 races championship, we all know it was all thanks to you, Brother Zhao, risking your life and fighting hard. While I still have my memory, I must express my gratitude to you, Brother Zhao, and Sister Haitang. Thank you. After Zhang Hebben finished speaking, he solemnly bowed to the two of them. Seeing this, the others also stood up and expressed their gratitude. This made Zhao Zheng and Song Haitang feel a little uncomfortable continuing to sit. Fortunately, the 60 seconds passed quickly. When the countdown ended, everyone disappeared simultaneously. The once bustling arena of the heavens instantly became empty, like a dead city. Blue Star. Zhenwu University. On the playground, several teachers gathered, chatting and laughing, their faces showing no worry. This was because the third level of the spiritual realm for newcomers was generally considered a relatively safe one. Every year, even the weaker extraordinary academies had a low attrition rate in the third level, rarely exceeding 15%. Moreover, Zhenwu University was a prestigious institution with strong student foundations, resulting in an even lower attrition rate. Time's almost up, everyone get ready to welcome our students back, a leader announced. Hearing this, the teachers ended their chatter and took their positions. A moment later, numerous students appeared out of thin air on the previously empty playground. The teachers merely glanced at the number of students and smiled with satisfaction. Sure enough, Zhenwu University's attrition rate in the third level of the spiritual realm was still very low this year. Soon, the number of students was tallied. There were over 180 students in total. Only 2 unlucky students hadn't returned. Upon receiving this data, the teachers were delighted, and the school leaders also smiled. Welcome back, students. Hearing the school leaders' words, the students on the playground gradually snapped out of their daze. This was normal. After all, their memories of the spirit realm had just been erased, so some discomfort was inevitable. Then, everyone turned their gaze towards Song Haitang. From the moment she received an SSS-level mission evaluation in the first level of the spirit realm, Song Haitang had already earned the title of number 1 freshman. Receiving another SSS-level evaluation in the second level further solidified that title. Now, everyone was curious whether this number 1 freshman, leading a team of 10, could once again achieve an SSS-level evaluation. In Song Haitang's team, Zhang Hebben, Wang Fei, and others were all filled with anticipation and excitement. They would soon know whether Song Haitang had carried them to victory. Next, we'll tally everyone's scores, a teacher announced loudly. Students who receive mission rewards, please report to your teachers immediately. As soon as the words were spoken, many students raised their hands. The teachers also began helping the students tally the scores for the third level of the spirit realm. Because the third level of the spiritual realm is divided into teams of 10, and rewards are distributed in groups of 10, it's very convenient to tally the results. Therefore, the teachers tallied the results quickly. However, as the tallying progressed, the teachers' expressions grew increasingly grim. This was because almost all the students in the dozen or so teams were at the C level. Forget A-level task evaluations, even B-level task evaluations only appeared 3 times. The only school leader present frowned deeply at the students' results. This was Zhenwu University. If they didn't even have a single A-level task evaluation team, what right did they have to be considered a prestigious university? Now, only Song Haitang's team hadn't produced their results. All the teachers and students looked towards Song Haitang's team. The school leader even came directly to the team's side. With a leader there, Teacher Shen couldn't remain silent and asked, Haitang, haven't your results come out yet? Song Haitang shook her head. No, since they hadn't come out, they could only continue waiting. Meanwhile, at the Beijing Extraordinary University, on the playground, standing before the students were numerous teachers and leaders. It wasn't that the leaders of Beijing University valued the freshmen more than those of Zhenwu University. Rather, the situation today was different. For this third level of the spirit realm, Beijing University, in order to surpass Zhenwu University and maintain its status as the top university, had specifically partnered with Shanghai Wuda University. Half of Ma Jun's team were top students from Shanghai Wuda University. Otherwise, they wouldn't have achieved such high scores in the spirit realm. As for Victor's team, it was even more impressive, gathering almost all the top freshmen from universities across the country, forming a super strong team. Anyway, the spirit realm competition wasn't about killing monsters, so the requirements for teamwork shouldn't be too high. Therefore, standing on the Beijing University playground at this moment, besides the teachers and leaders of Beijing University, there were also some teachers and leaders from Shanghai Wuda University. Our results are out. Suddenly, a student in Ma Jun's team raised their hand and announced. Hearing this, the teachers and leaders all perked up. A male teacher hurried over and asked, "Ma Jun, how did you do?" Ma Jun shook his head, looking somewhat disappointed, and said, "Still S rank, no new breakthrough." Hearing this, the leaders were also a little disappointed. This time, they joined forces with Martial University to form a high-quality team, aiming for the martial arts championship, or even an SSS rank mission evaluation. In recent months, True Martial University had been in the limelight, almost making people forget that Peking University was the #1 extraordinary university in the country. Therefore, Peking University urgently needed to turn things around. They originally thought that this third level of the martial arts realm would be a good opportunity. Unexpectedly, an S-rank mission evaluation is not bad either. The male teacher comforted him, and then asked, "What is your ranking?" "Third in the world," Ma Jun said unhappily. He was very dissatisfied with this result. Because the combined efforts of the two prestigious universities were not much higher than the second level of the realm last time. "Teacher, you should see our rewards for yourself," Ma Jun said. He didn't want to explain it to him step by step anymore. Upon hearing this, the teacher put his hand on Ma Jun's shoulder. Then, he loudly announced Ma Jun and the other scores. Ma Jun, Weishihan, He Cheokiang points gained in this spirit realm. 81 points overall score, S rank, overall ranking. Third, basic reward. 204 spirit energy points. As this information was read aloud, the surrounding students looked at Ma Jun and the others with envy. The teachers and leaders didn't show any particular reaction. The super team composed of the top students from two schools had achieved such results, not bad, but still falling short of the leaders' expectations. One leader stepped forward and asked, "Ma Jun, what about Song Haitang from Zhenwu University? What score did she get?" "There wasn't a super announcement, how would I know what score she got?" Hearing Song Haitang's name, Ma Jun immediately became irritated, his tone becoming somewhat sharp. Because people always compared the two of them. And in these comparisons, Ma Jun, was always the one who was inferior. The leader's face darkened at being contradicted by a student. However, he also knew that Ma Jun was a prodigy at Peking University, highly regarded by the president, and even he couldn't reprimand him. Therefore, he could only suppress his dissatisfaction. "Director, and all leaders, I have some news to report," Ma Jun's teacher suddenly said. "During the hour I waited, I learned from some friends that many countries have gathered their top freshmen from various universities to form super strong teams to compete for this year's third-level Spiritual Realm Martial Arts Championship. Therefore, I believe that Ma Jun and his team's achievement is outstanding. Perhaps their results are already the best in the country." Hearing this, the leader's heart stirred. If that were true, that wouldn't be bad. Even if they couldn't beat outsiders, as long as they got first place among their own people, they would still be the top university in the country. Even Ma Jun's expression relaxed a little, hoping that what his teacher said would come true. However, at this moment, the expressions of all the students on the playground changed. That annoying super announcement had come again. They were spitting blood. "I ate some unclean takeout today and had diarrhea 6 times, my intestines almost came out." There will be another update before 12 o'clock. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.